The Power Hour is on the air, live streaming on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. I'm your host, Michael Bishop, and welcome to the fabulous new Studio 56. We are live and we are ready for the Power Hour Draftacular. We'll be covering the entire first round. We'll be bringing all the information that you'll need going forward for tonight, and it is going to be a jam-packed show with a lot of topics of information and interest. But first, we've got a slew of guests to get to, so let's go ahead and bring them in one by one. From Titans Time Podcast, it's our good friend Tyler coming in. How are we doing tonight, Tyler?
Doing great, man. If I can get over this sinus stuff, I'd be even better. But you can't ask for a better night. It's round one, NFL draft. We've been waiting for it. I'm ready to go.
Tyler's ready to go. Coming in next, it's our good buddy P. Shark. He's got his hands full, especially with NBA coverage and everything else, but he is locked into the draft as well. P. Shark, how you doing tonight, buddy?
Man, doing well. How about y'all two?
Apparently sinuses and sunburns are a big thing today. So we're trying to survive Mother Nature, and it is just not working out too well. And, of course, coming in next, it's our buddy Ryan Harris from the Jump Pass podcast. Love it. Go check it out. Always a good listen. Ryan, how you doing tonight, buddy?
Hey, what's going on? What's going on, fellas? How's it going? First round, hey, can't beat that. Got NBA stuff going on, man. It's a good day for sports.
Definitely can't argue with that. And coming in finally, it's our special guest filling out the panel tonight, our good friend Hayley Thornhill. Hayley, welcome to the show tonight.
Hi. How are you guys?
Everybody's doing good. Apparently sinuses, sunburns, and everything else are the topic of discussion right now. But we are all in. We are locked in. Welcome to the Power Hour Draftacular. Well, Hayley, I'll start with you first. And it's going to be a lot of interesting stories in the draft tonight. So I think what's going to be the biggest one going forward?
Ooh. You had to start with me on this. I wasn't ready. I don't know. I mean, obviously for us, I don't know overall what the biggest story is, but I think that, it'll be interesting to see what direction. I think nobody really knows what direction we'll go. So I'm just really interested in to see what J-Rob does. With these picks, or be trades around or what, So.
And P. Shark, I'll give you this next question. We know right now that there's going to be a lot of chatter with the first pick overall, and Trayvon Walker has just jumped into the mix the last couple of weeks, possibly taking over Hutchinson's number one position. So could we see a shock with the number one overall pick tonight?
Yeah, I think Trayvon Walker is the favorite now, according to all the DraftKings and FanDuel and everything. So I think I would say it's a lock, but you never know. I could still see Aiden Hutchinson going first.
Tyler, what's your thoughts on the same subject?
I think, like y'all said, the odds have just shifted so much. And honestly, I think, even maybe the NFL just in general wants to see Aiden Hutchinson with the Lions because, that would be kind of their hometown guy. If he falls to them at 2, that would be big news for them, kind of a pop pick. So I think we could see him fall to that number 2 pick instead of number 1. And, I had you on the show last week and I was telling people, hey, go lock in Hutchinson at number 1. And last night I had P. Shark on. I said, yeah, y'all may want to hedge that bet a little bit and go the other way.
Well, it's a good thing you said on the previous shows, it's not a bet. You probably shouldn't bet. It's just advice.
Yeah.
And Ryan, we'll ask the same question to you. And how do you think that this is going to impact the draft going forward tonight?
Well, it kind of just brings out the draft in general. It's a very unpredictable draft. You really don't know where anybody is going, especially, at the quarterback position. There's so many rumors about the quarterback position where you might get one quarterback going top 10. You might get 0 quarterbacks going top 10. I do know, the Jaguars, there's been some rumors of some disagreements between the GM and the owner. The owner wants one player, the GM wants another player. So that kind of leads to that, Walker being the number one pick as opposed to Hutchinson. But I do agree with Tyler, though. I think Hutchinson would be a better fit in Detroit as opposed to the Jaguars. That's just my opinion.
And of course, it's going to be a very good skill position draft. Of course, there's only a few quarterbacks, and we'll get to them in a minute. But Hayley, we'll start with you on this one. As it goes with receivers, who do you think is the best receiver in the draft, and which one would be going first?
I don't know. I think I'm sorry. I don't know. Maybe London. Is that his name?
Drake London.
Yeah. I think that'll be interesting. Maybe Garrett Wilson is another one. So I don't know. I don't know who goes first, but those are kind of two that I'm watching.
All right, and we'll just keep the discussion going with the round table. So, P. Shark, best receiver in the draft right now?
Gary Wilson, Ohio State.
All right. Tyler, best receiver in the draft?
I think that Jameson Williams is the best, but I think that Wilson will go first since Williams is coming back from that ACL. So,
and Ryan, I think you're probably going to be the tiebreaker here. So,
if Jameson Williams didn't get hurt in that game, didn't tear his ACL, I would say Jameson Williams. But the injury history, now he has a ACL hit under his belt. I probably say Gary Wilson is the best receiver in the class. I just think that, he doesn't. I think he's the next raw talent that you have besides Jameson Williams in regards of being NFL ready from day one.
And I agree with all those choices. I think along the lines, we're going to see a slew of receivers go in the first round. A lot of receiver-hungry teams, especially up in the top 5, potentially. So I think the next biggest question, especially for the draft right now, and we'll reverse the order. Ryan, I'll start with you. When it comes to quarterbacks right now, who's the team that looks like they're going to go more likely with the quarterback selection in the first round?
Ooh, that's that's tough. I would probably say theoretically, you probably would say Carolina. If I know there's been some rumors about Carolina and Baker Mayfield kind of working some kind of deal going on, but if that deal doesn't fall through, I would probably say Carolina will be the first team to take a shot at quarterback. If it's not Carolina, be on the lookout for a team that's kind of surprised and draft a quarterback, a team like the Giants. Just today, they just declined Daniel Jones's 5th-year option. So that might be something to look out for as well.
And Tyler, we'll give you the same question.
Yeah, I think Ryan said it best. I mean, just looking at the draft order here, I think the Panthers, they're the first team that really pops out to me. Another team after them that I could see, though, is maybe the Washington Commanders. I mean, yeah, they traded for Wentz, but are they going to put it all on him going forward, or do they want to have him for right now and draft a guy that can maybe set just a year behind him and then come in and take over?
P. Shark, what's your take?
Watch out for the Saints. I have a feeling. I can see them maneuvering another trade up to take a quarterback. Or another team. I think they'll definitely take a quarterback with their 20th pick, but Pittsburgh Steelers could possibly move up as well. So check out those two teams.
And that's a great point. The Saints definitely have the capital to move up if they wanted to. The biggest question is who is going to be their guy. All right, guys, it looks like we're getting ready to start the NFL draft, so we'll go ahead and hit our little screen real quick. And courtesy of Titan Upload, he had some situations he had handling right now, so he let us borrow some of these graphics that you see in front of us. we'll go ahead and put Jacksonville on a clock, and we will wait and see what their selection is. But momentarily while we do that, Tyler, I'll start with you. Jacksonville definitely needs to build around Trevor Lawrence going forward. So is it very possible that they should go offensive line in this draft, or should they stick with going with a defensive player like they've been mocked in so many other mock drafts?
Oh, that's a good question, because you want to build around a young quarterback and make sure that you protect him. I mean, you look back at what happened just a couple of years ago with the Bengals and Joe Burrow. He didn't have protection, kept getting hit, and ended up getting injured. So do you want to take that chance with Trevor Lawrence? But I feel like so much focus has been on the defensive side for them that I think they may have blinders onto that, and they may just stick with going with the edge rusher.
Hayley, what's your take on that?
I mean, I definitely think, the offense is, Trevor Lawrence is too good to be, to not have the best around him. But I do think they spent a lot of money, in the off season. So I don't know if they'll still go that direction. Maybe building up the, offensive line or the defense, just because they did spend so much money on, receivers and all that. So, yeah, I don't know.
And P-Shark, like we were talking earlier before the show came on, I think it's interesting that the fact that Trayvon Walker has basically just come up to the top of a lot of draft conversations that he could potentially be drafted to the Jaguars. What makes him so appealing that made this jump so rapid?
I would say he's arguably one of the more talented players in the draft. And, he was one of the better players on their Georgia defense. So that was the best defense in the nation last year. So it's not as hard to think that he could be number one, but just recently I saw him at number 10, so it was a pretty quick jump within a week. So I don't know exactly what happened within a week that made him chew up the draft boards like he did.
And I just have to think: was it his workouts? Was it his tape that basically just got people really excited? Did he have a good NFL combine? You take those into consideration, but Tyler, would you say that it's easy to say that he could potentially just be a workout warrior, and maybe this is just one of those deals where people just got impressed with what they saw on film?
Yeah, that could very well be the case. You think about, I can't think of anyone just specifically right off the top of my head, but there's been players before that impress with their workout, and all of a sudden you see them shooting up draft boards like crazy, and a team takes them, and it doesn't translate to the field as well. Now, Trayvon Walker, he's 6'5", 275, something like. He's a big guy. I think he's got a lot of talent. So it's possible that just his workouts, like you said, have moved him up the board, and it'll be interesting to see if that can translate to the field if the Jaguars decide to take him number 1 overall. Like P Shark said, I've saw him fall all the way to 10. So I don't know.
And Ryan, in your opinion, who do you think is the best fit for the Jaguars?
I would say it's Trayvon Walker. I've seen a lot of Trayvon Walker, being an SEC guy, being an SEC fan, and I think he's the kind of guy that you can potentially build a defense around. They do need a lot of help on that side of the field. Honestly, the Jaguars need a lot of help in a lot of different areas. But I think, if you want to, the best way I feel like you can, rebuild, especially in the draft, is on defense. to kind of get some young players and get some guys that can be day one starters, because I feel like the Jaguars have done a good job in free agency, trying to surround some guys and help out Trevor Lawrence. Eventually, they would need some O-line help, which you can get in this draft class, later in the draft. But I feel like Walker is the best fit over Hutchinson. I just think that his motor is really good, and he's performed in big games. That national championship game that he had against Alabama, he had close to 10 pressures against the Heisman Trophy winner. So I think he's a guy that it's going to be a good fit for the Jags.
And I think we've got our first pick in.
He's actually tweeted this numerous times.
And it looks like Trayvon Walker is going to the Jaguars.
Yep.
So, interesting. So, the dynamic there is they felt that it was good enough for them to put that pick on him. And, Hayley, we'll start with you. Do you think this was a good move for the Jaguars going forward?
Yeah, I do. I think, again, they've done a lot this offseason of filling in their offense. I think getting some good defensive players. I mean, I'm a little worried about them this year, to be honest. So I think this is a great pick for them.
And P-Shark, we'll go with you on this one. Do you think that this could potentially elevate their defense going forward?
Yeah, it definitely helps. I mean, Jacksonville just needs talent, period. All positions, all sides. So I can't do nothing but help them.
And Tyler, I really have to admit, it's just shocking the fact that Trayvon Walker just shot up the draft boards just so quickly. We discussed, it was potentially that his stock was getting better. There was just a lot of hearsay, and apparently it just built up and it just lived up to the hype. So do you think the Jaguars have a player that could potentially be a cornerstone building block for their defense?
I think they do. Like all of us have said, he's he's athletic. He can get after the quarterback. It adds a young, dynamic player to their defense. And I mean, we saw, just kind of the reference to the Titans, the pass rush, how it improved this past year. We saw how when you improve your pass rush and can get after the quarterback like crazy, it helps your team out. It helps your defense out tremendously. So he could definitely be a cornerstone guy for them going forward on the defensive side.
And Ryan, they address a big position that'll definitely help them going forward. So for the Jaguars going in the second round, what do you think their primary focus will be on next?
Definitely offensive line. You got the franchise quarterback, or you think is the franchise quarterback. So the best way to protect that franchise quarterback is to get a offensive line that can protect that franchise quarterback. You don't want to be in a situation like the Bengals where they neglect that position until a point where, Burrow got hurt in his rookie year. Now you don't want that same situation to happen to Trevor Lawrence, because, that's two different situations. The Jaguars have had a history of not doing well in protecting their quarterbacks and have not done a great job of surrounding their quarterbacks with talent. Now they got some talent. Now you need to protect that asset. Because Trevor Lawrence, if he's going to be the guy, then you need to protect him. So I say O-line in the second round.
Trayvon Walker is now Jacksonville Jaguar. The first pick is off the board, and it was definitely an interesting one. Well, moving on next, it appears the Detroit Lions are now on the clock, and we will throw them up real quick, if it'll cooperate. And P-Shark, we'll start with you. Detroit definitely had some ups and downs, but they definitely had some progression going at the end of the season. So What do you think Detroit's main focus is going into the 2022 year?
And the same thing as Jacksonville, add talent. Once again, another roster. Flawed, need talent all the way around. Difference between the two, they need a quarterback, but it looks like they'll be waiting to next year to solve the QB problem.
And Haley, Dan Campbell stepped in and did a very good job his first year as head coach with Detroit. And a lot of things, especially that looked like weren't going to go Detroit's way, ended up making a little bit of noise. So do you think that in his second year that they can make some progressive movements going forward?
I mean, I think, especially if they have a good draft, I think they can. Like you said, they kind of got a little bit of a groove, later in the year. And I think, I mean, they definitely have some huge holes that need to be addressed, including even in the quarterback position. But I think, I definitely think that he can, get them rolling in his second year. And I mean, I don't see them being any big contender, but hopefully moving in the right direction.
And Tyler, it looks like the Detroit Lions have made their pick, and it's going to be Aiden Hutchinson, defensive end out of Michigan. So, giving you this one, how do you think his fit will be with the Detroit Lions?
I think it'll be good. I think he'll bring energy to that defense. He's definitely going to bring Dan Campbell. He already had Lions fans fired up. He had the team fired up. And now I think fans just in general up there in Detroit, they got their hometown guy now, coming right over from Michigan in college. So I think that's going to be good for them. Like P. Shark said, they really need help all the way around on the team, but I think this is a good starting point.
And Ryan, with that being said, what should be their next focal point in the really at the end of the first round? They do have an extra pick at pick 32, so where do you think they potentially go from there?
They can go a lot of different directions. Maybe they may be a team that's maybe quarterback needy, or maybe they wait until next year, like Shark said. But they might have an opportunity to pick one of those quarterbacks that they might get bypassed by one of those other teams that's picking ahead of them. That might they're projected to pick a quarterback, but it end up going to another direction. I'd probably say if they don't go quarterback, you can look at maybe receiver. You may be looking at, maybe addressing the defensive side of the football again. They do got some pieces on defense that are young, but, you can never have enough, young talent especially on one side of the football like defense. So it can go a lot of different directions, but they have to they might trade out of the first round. You never know.
And we'll just go straight down with everybody, starting with Tyler on the top. What do you grade this pick?
I'm going to grade it an A. I'm going to give him an A. I don't necessarily want to go A+, just because, which, this may not be fair. Looking back at past drafts, like even last year, I don't know that he would have been, a top 5 pick. So I'm going to give him an A just for how this draft class works out.
P. Shark, is this A+ material? No, I'm with Tyler. I just give it an A. I typically don't give A+. A+ is hard. It got to be spot on, perfect. This is about as close to A+ as it can get, but I'm gonna stick with A. For a person that was projected to be number 1, and for him to fall in that lap in number 2, it's definitely an A.
Ryan, is this an A+ to you?
Nah, man, I gotta agree with the fellas, man. To Shark's point, it has to be like a hand and glove kind of fit to basically just give it an A+. And I think it's a great fit, but I just don't think it's just that superstar talent. Aiden Hutchinson, he might be a superstar, but I'm not really sure if he's gonna we got to see first. So I'll give it an A though. It's a good pick for Detroit.
Haley, I hate to put you in this position, but it looks like you're going to be the deciding factor here. Is this an A or an A plus?
You know what? I actually am gonna say A plus only because I'm a big like intangibles person. So I think talent wise, like fit as far as him fitting, I agree. But just because as we were talking about earlier, his ability to or his connection to Michigan, the way that he's going to fire up the team, the fans, all of that stuff plays into how well a team does. We affect the team, the team too. So I'm going to give that plus just because of that kind of intangible of him being a hometown kid from Michigan, went to Michigan, so.
And I definitely love that narrative right there. That is the hometown kid staying at home.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely giving Detroit a lot of hope going forward. And now we've got Houston on the clock. The Texans are already in progress, basically trying to figure out who they want to bring on. And just to say a short idea of what the Texans need, it's just about everything. So, Ryan, starting with you, it appears that they're happy with the quarterback they have in David Mills. So they obviously want to build around him. So what do you think would be the best building piece right now for this offense?
Some receivers not named Brandon Cooks. They need some receivers. They need some receivers bad. They also need They need running backs too, but there's not a running back that's worth getting in this first round, in my opinion. But they need some receivers bad. But I think they might go corner. They might go Stingley or they might go Sauce. I'm not sure which one it's going to be, but I think they're going to go corner.
And I think you proved right. It just appears from NFL Game Day via Twitter, Derek Stingley will be a member of the Houston Texans. So I'll let you finish that thought now that Stingley is officially a member of the Texans.
They needed a shutdown corner. I think he's one of the premier shutdown corners in this class. I think it's going to be a great pick. Stingley, I know he had his struggles, last season, but I think that's going to be he's going to be one of the better corners in the NFL once he gets developed. Hopefully, he gets developed in this particular organization. As a Titan fan, I hope he don't. But at the end of the day, though, I think it's going to be a good pick for the Texans.
And P. Shark, I'll let you weigh on this as well. Stingley definitely has been called probably the best corner in the draft. Do you think that he lives up to that hype?
Yeah, I mean, he definitely probably lived up to it against the Titans, as apparently the Texans always do against us. Just another corner for Ryan Tannehill to throw a pick to. No, I'm just playing. But, hey, he's LSU, man. LSU used to produce good DBs, man. So I think he'll do good.
DBU for sure. And Haley, knowing that the Texans still have a lot of other positions to fill, how do you feel that they might have solidified their corner position going forward?
I mean, I think as long as because I think we just talked about, he struggled the last couple seasons. I think only played like 10 games the last couple seasons. So but I know he had a good pro day. So as long as he is, healthy and can get back in the swing of things, I think this was a great pick for them. I think they, filled in at least just one of their many missing pieces. So.
And indeed, it's a team that's still trying to fill out a lot of things. New head coach, new system. So going forward for the Texans, I feel that it's going to be interesting, especially with an AFC South foe, that you see both the Jaguars and the Texans at 1 and 3. That they're definitely going to have a long way to go from a building standpoint. And I'll give this one to P. Shark. When it comes to what the Texans are going to need to do long term to be successful again, what do you think a key factor is going forward?
Stability with the organization, GM, head coach. That's been their biggest problem over the last, since Bill O'Brien took over as GM and just kind of not necessarily random into the ground because they did win like the division 4 times in 5 years with him, but he did like kind of got them up almost at the top and just took them down. And they just been remaining down. So it starts really from the very top with the owner and everything that's going on with the coaching situation, firing coaches after 1 year for whatever reason, keeping the coach on, defense coordinator and Lovie Smith, who hasn't been the head coach in the NFL since the Bears days. Then he didn't do well in college. So really stability starting at the top. I don't still think they have it right now, so it might still be a while for the Texans.
Houston Texans adding a lockdown corner. Hopefully that's the start of something that will help them in the rebuilding process move forward. And right now, the Jets are on the clock.
Ooh.
And I think that just says volumes for about everything that we feel about the Jets in the last couple of weeks. And Ryan, I'll start with you. The Jets definitely have some nice pieces to build around. What do you think would be the best way for them to take their offense in a higher direction besides trying to go after our receivers?
Definitely not going after AJ Brown. It's gonna because he's a bad wide receiver. He's terrible. He can't play. So I don't even know why they want AJ Brown. But
bad teammate.
You have an exclusive right here. You're getting all the information you need, New York Jets. So listen to these amazing people. They have great analysis here. I'm telling you, you don't want it.
You don't want AJ Brown. Go out to get Des Fitzpatrick. He's amazing. But anyway, to answer your question, definitely a wide receiver is definitely a spot that they might need to address, though, in all seriousness, though, because, they really don't have a number one receiver. Corey Davis is there. We all know, we all have experience with Corey Davis. He's not a number one receiver. He's a number two receiver. And some teams, he's really number three. So I'd probably say either wide receiver or, if they don't go wide receiver, they might go, edge rusher.
Hayley, I'll ask the same question.
I think I think wide receiver. I think that's their biggest need. Obviously, they've made clear they're on the lookout for a number one wide receiver. So I think that'll be where they spend this first pick.
And it looks like we might have a pick in already. And it appears the Jets are going to go with Sauce Gardner. So adding another corner to a team that was desperately in need of more defensive help. So, P-Shark, how do you like this move if it potentially goes through?
Love it. I think he's the best corner in the draft ahead of Derek Stingley. But as a Memphis fan who's played Cincinnati twice, well, not twice a year, but every year in football, we've had the pleasure of throwing a couple picks to Sauce Gardner. So, solid pick. And love it. I don't know if y'all saw his draft day chain, Sauce. Got a little swag for it.
He had some huge swag going in there. So I hope he's got a safe deposit box for that thing. I am worried about him walking around in Las Vegas with that much bling. But Tyler, what's your take on this one?
I'm actually a little bit surprised. I was like Ryan. I figured if they didn't go, which I kind of thought that they wouldn't go receiver with the fourth pick. I think they'll wait until 10 to address that. But I thought they would go edge right here. So I'm a little surprised, but I think they're getting a great player with Sauce Gardner. Like P-Shark said, it's kind of a toss-up for me between Gardner and Stingley, who I thought was the best corner in this draft. But just the attitude that Gardner brings and everything, I think the Jets got a good one there on the defense. And, he's a guy that I don't think they'll have to worry about. They can put him out there and let him go to work.
Sauce Gardner is bringing the heat to New York. Can he be a difference maker? We will find out. And right now, it appears the Giants are now on the clock. and everybody's waiting to see what the New York Football Giants will be doing. And Hayley, I'll start with you on this one. The New York Giants, another New York team in disarray. So many questions going forward. We'll start with the quarterback situation. Already not deciding to basically deny their fifth-year option for Daniel Jones. Mm-hmm. Could this potentially be a quarterback selection here?
I mean, it definitely could be. I mean, them not deciding to do that. Obviously, if they're looking to go ahead and get somebody in to start building on something new, I think that for sure could be something they do. But they've got a lot of other needs as well, So I think they probably need an offensive tackle, edge rusher. There's a lot of needs there. So I don't know that will be their top need, but it could be interesting to see.
And Ryan, I'll give you this one. The Giants could be a potential trade partner with some of the other teams looking to trade up. New York is potentially looking to add more picks. So could we see a trade here?
It's possible. I don't think they're going to trade the pick though. They got too many needs, especially in the offensive line. Especially what we said. What I said a few minutes ago about them being the surprise team to pick a quarterback. They definitely need a lot of help, especially in that offensive line. If you're going to trust Daniel Jones to be the guy for at least this year anyway, you do need to get him every opportunity for him to succeed, and that's starting with getting the O-line.
And P. Shark, do you have the same sentiment?
I think he froze up.
I might have. Do you have the same sentiment with what Ryan's saying?
I think we lost him.
I think you're losing me. Am I here? Ground control?
You're here.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're here. P Shark's gone.
Yeah, I think P Shark's gone.
Oh no, we lost P Shark. We'll try and get him back on. But let's see. P Shark, we got you.
Yeah, I was like, I'm still saying.
All right. I was like, oh no, we've got technical difficulties already. But P Shark, I'll give you another question. With the Giants, we know that they have to try and build one of the offensive or defensive lines. But with the potential of adding a quarterback, especially already denying a fifth-year option, would that be the best way for the Giants to go?
If they love one of the prospects, yeah. I'm a big fan of Malik Willis, so they decide he's the one. Yeah, they do got my guy Brian Daboll from the Buffalo Bills, his head coach now. So, and you saw what he did with Josh Allen. So, sky's the limit as far as I can see, especially with Malik Willis' talent. So, wouldn't be a bad idea if they would go ahead and take him. But they do have a lot of other needs. Offensive line for it's been their need for 10 years, but that's always a need for them.
And it looks like they're going to go the other way. It is now reported that Kayvon Thibodeau from Oregon will be going to the Giants.
Nice.
So, P-Shark, good pick, bad pick, in-between pick?
Great pick. I mean, he used to probably the most talented player left on the board. I mean, I saw him going number one for the longest, throughout March and after the combine. So, to get him at number 4 is almost a steal, as long as the questions that there was asked about him, I guess, off the field issues and stuff, check out to be good.
And it was interesting, especially you had certain teams saying that he just had the lack of interest in playing. There was just questioning his desire to play football. So, Tyler, I mean, do you think that this is a risky take for the Giants here?
I mean, it could be because, as Titans fans, we are familiar with risky picks over the last couple of years. And, I think right here at this spot, Thibodeau, that's a risk worth taking. right now. I actually thought that the Giants would go with the offensive line right here, but with a guy this talented falling to you, because again, I thought it surprised me the Jets went corner. I thought Thibodeau was going to go to them, but with him falling there, I think you have to take a chance on him.
And that's definitely a great point. I think a corner of that, well, an edge rusher of that caliber could definitely be a difference maker, especially for the Giants team that's just simply depleted of talent right now. I did feel it was interesting that they could potentially trade, especially in the situation that they are in. So I think it's a good pickup here. I hope that, he is one of those guys that just loves football, and it was just kind of hearsay that gets out, but a good setup for the Giants, no less. And right now it looks like the Carolina Panthers are on the clock, and it is going to be interesting to see if they want to go quarterback here. So, Ryan, I'll let you start. Could we see our first quarterback going?
Yeah, I think it's very possible. I think Malik Willis might be the spot right here. If they might throw a curveball and address the offensive line, but my issue is who you're protecting. Sam Darnold. Who? I'm not really sure. But I say quarterback will probably be the spot here. I'm looking at Malik Willis.
And Haley, what do you think the Panthers should do in this situation?
I think again, they have a lot of needs on offensive line, but like you said, it's who are they protecting? So I would love to see him take a quarterback here. I would love to see them, obviously you got to have somebody you're going to build your team around. And if they've got somebody that they like, I think this is the time to do it for sure.
And P-Shark, if they do take a quarterback, who could be the first one off the board, or do you have a different take?
It would be when Malik Willis is they take one, but so I host another podcast, Let's Be Real, and one of my co-hosts, Tel, he's a Carolina fan, and we talked today, and he said he wants the best O-line available. He don't want a quarterback, and he rather them trade down. So ain't no telling where Carolina will go with this pick.
Tyler, your take.
If they do go quarterback, Malik Willis is going to be the pick, but my gut tells me that they are going to go offensive line. Like I don't see them going quarterback right here at 6. I think they'll take one of the top offensive linemen here.
And a great point made on Twitter right now. The first 5 picks are completely defensive players. So we're definitely seeing defense is the big key factor here for a lot of these teams. So it will be interesting to see if the Carolina Panthers decide that, well, I guess we could go through another quarterback. But from a defensive standpoint, and Ryan, I'll give you this one. If they needed to go defense or wanted to, especially with the lack of corner, what do you think would be the best option there?
I'll probably say I really think they should just address the O-line. I really do. Maybe a guy like, what's the guy's name? Neal from Alabama. I think that Carolina has a lot of young talent, especially on defense. I think that they really need to address the offense. And starting with maybe, if they're not going with quarterback, then they need to get some offensive line to protect whoever's going to be the quarterback for this team, whether it's Sam Darnold, P.J. Walker, whoever. Maybe they bring back Cam Newton. Who knows? They just definitely need to fix that offense more so than they need to fix the defense.
Hey, Michael.
Yeah.
I just want to tell you, I gotta go pick up my daughter from gymnastics, so I'm gonna hop off.
All right, Haley. Well, we appreciate you being on here.
Thank you for having me. Bye, guys. I'll be watching though.
All right, we appreciate you for being on. You have a great night.
All right, you too.
See ya.
See ya.
Yep. Be safe.
Be safe.
Take care. Tighten up. mom got them do mom things. So we completely understand. So it's going to be a long night, and we know, like, if any of our guests have to leave at any time, we understand. So we're very understanding on this show. And I am just refreshing on the left and the right, so it's hard.
Picks going by pretty fast.
They are. I'm surprised we're actually.
Yeah, they really are. Yeah.
I definitely would like to start another subject, but I keep thinking somebody's going to call a pick here in just a minute. So
it looks like maybe the pick's in now for Carolina.
All right, we'll wait and see what happens.
I'm about to say, as long as they were taken, I thought they might have been working on a trade, but
it could be a trade. There were some rumors that Carolina could have been one of the trade partners with somebody, so I don't see the Saints moving up, but the anticipation's just driving at everybody right now.
I went to commercial.
Of course they did. They got to get their money.
They knew you were waiting on it, Power Hour. They were like, we can't let him have it just yet.
Damn you, Roger Goodell. Well, you know what? I'm going to do something, and I'm going to jump in on that party train right there. We're going to take a quick 30-second break, and when we come back, we'll see what the pick is. So take that, logic. The Power Hour Draftacular is on the air and live. I want to thank my guests for joining me tonight. On the show tonight, we have Ryan Harris, P. Shark, and Titan Time Podcast. Wonderful having you gentlemen on the show. We've got so much to go over, and I appreciate you for taking the time and hanging out with me tonight.
For sure. Thanks for having us, man.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Anytime.
And it might appear we might have a pick in. Any minute now. All right, Twitter, you're just making me look bad now.
I think it's the offensive lineman from NC State.
Just waiting for confirmation. So slow. If one's not working, try the other one. But unfortunately, that one's not working. Is it official yet? I'm kind of lagging right now.
I have not saw anything just yet.
It's Roger Goodell announcing it now.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, the guy from NC State, Ikwanu.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And it is official. And it appears the Panthers are going to go with Equinu at the offensive line. So, finally, after this just entire huge wait, it seems like they found their key piece at the offensive line. So, P. Shark, how are your feelings on this one?
Like I said, they've been needing an offensive line for a good 10, 15 years. So, it's offensive line for them. So, I think it helps. Hopefully, see what Brian Daboll. I know they declined Danny Dimes' fifth-year option, but maybe this is the prove-it year for them, period. And if they have another bad year, they can go for Bryce Young next year if it goes as bad. It's hopefully they have a bad year. They have a bad year. What they can get Bryce Young next year. So, hey, we'll see what he can do. See if he kept out Danny Dimes for a year.
And Ryan, it's crazy that the Panthers found Equinu being the better tackle or guard prospect than Neal. So, what do you think that they saw that really just kind of moved their hand towards Equinu?
I already, he impressed a lot of people, a lot of scouts. I think that, when you impress someone, and I always feel like with drafts, you can like a player, but if you love a player, then you need to get that player. I feel like they probably love this guy over Neal, and that's probably what's the biggest difference. Like I said, if you love a player over liking another player, then you should go with the player that you love. He might be a better fit, a better schematic fit than Neal. So we'll see what happens.
And Tyler, same question.
Yeah, I think Ryan said it best. I think that he's probably just the guy from going through the whole process that the Panthers looked at everything and they were like, he's our guy. He's the guy that's going to fit better. He may not be the best overall tackle in this draft, but he's the guy that we think we need going forward to kind of anchor our O-line. And that's honestly, that's who I kind of figured that the Panthers would go with. If I had to take a guess, I think we'll see Neal going off the board very soon here. I think the Giants will end up taking him since the Panthers didn't. But like I said, Ryan said it best. They fell in love with him. That's their guy. So.
And as soon as you said that, it appears Neal will be going to the Giants. So Albert Breer breaking that news right now. So Neal will be a member of the New York Giants. They didn't have to wait too long to get back on the board. So I'll let you start, Tyler. What do you like about Neal going to the Giants, since we didn't have to wait too long for this one?
Yeah, I think it's a great pick for them. Talking about them needing an offensive lineman, Neal is, like you said, arguably the best tackle in this draft, a big guy. He can anchor that O-line for the Giants. Giants, this is kind of a prove-it year for Danny Dimes, so give him an O-line to protect him and see what he can do.
Ryan, do you think Neal will be a huge improvement on the Giants' offensive line?
For the Giants fans' sake, I hope so. They've been having some issues. They've been having some issues with picking the offensive line. I mean, Andrew Thomas, they draft pick from a couple of years ago, has been really struggling. So hopefully, Evan Neal can come in and be a mainstay in that old line, because they desperately need it, especially for a guy like Daniel Jones, who's had some injury concerns, and on top of that, has some fumbling issues as well. So hopefully he can kind of negate some of that.
And P. Shark, I'll let you finish. One of the busiest analysts right now, breaking down NBA games and the NFL draft. This man is like on top of it. What grade do you give this pick?
Like I said, they need the lineman for about 10, 15 years. So like they're trying to take care of it all in one draft finally. So I give them a solid. I give them a B, only because it's back-to-back linemen, so back-to-back tackles. So, you could have did a couple different positions, but hey, that's fine. They saying, Danny Dimes, this is it. This is your proof of year. We're about to give you a couple linemen. We got you some weapons, although they're trying to trade one of them, Kadarius Toney. see, hopefully Saquon can stay healthy for once, and they about to roll with the punches. So I give him a B plus.
You're going to have to work to get an A plus for P Shark, apparently. But giving you the B, so just take what you can get. All right, next up, it appears on the clock we have our good friends, the Tennessee Falcons.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, Atlanta's been poaching a lot of past Tennessee talent for the last few weeks, so it's going to be interesting to see what they want to do going forward. So, P. Shark, what do you think the main focal point here is for Atlanta this year?
Development. So, like the top 3 teams to draft, the Atlanta is in the same position. So with Calvin Ridley being out, I think they were going to try to trade him anyway, but now definitely him being suspended for the season, they would probably look to add another weapon. I could see them possibly take quarterback. Marcus Mariota is pretty much a stopgap. I also could see Arthur Smith saying, hey, let me try and see what I can do with Mariota. Let's hold off for a year. Let's get a receiver. Let's go with Kyle Pitts and number 1 receiver, and let's see what we can do with Marcus Mariota. So I think wide receiver is where they go.
Ryan, are you on the wide receiver bandwagon?
Yeah, I'm pretty much co-signing everything P. Shark just said. I mean, they probably just going to roll with Mariota, see what Mariota can do. Hopefully he can play a 16-game schedule. 17-game schedule, and see what happens from there, and then give him a weapon. At least give Mariota an opportunity to show that, maybe he still has starter ability in the National Football League. But, yeah, I say wide receiver for sure on this one.
Tyler, are we going to make it wide receiver tic-tac-toe?
I think so, just because I don't see – I can't see them grabbing a quarterback right here. I think they're going to roll with Mariota. And Calvin Ridley being gone now, they need weapons to put around him. So can't just rely on Kyle Pitts only, like add some more guys as weapons and try and spread defenses out when you're going against them. That way, they're not just focusing on one guy.
And we'll reverse the order. Tyler, who do you think would be the best receiver fit for the Falcons?
That's a good question. I'm just going to stick with what I said earlier with who I think is going to be the first receiver taken. I think Wilson is going to go right here to him.
P. Shark, will Wilson be the first receiver off the board?
Yep. I don't think they can't afford to wait on the Jameson Williams. So, yeah, Garrett Wilson will go.
Ryan, are we going to make that a wide receiver tic-tac-toe on the other end? Damn it, that was hard.
Yeah, we're gonna have to make it 3 out of 3. I think Garrett Wilson is the spot here. I think they need some weapons bad. Can't rely on just Kyle Pitts. Give Mariota at least an opportunity to be successful by giving him some weapons.
And of course, Calvin Ridley being out for the year, it's very interesting, especially that we knew that it was going to be a situation where they're going to be without their key wide receiver, and we have breaking on the NFL draft front. Sorry, I can't talk. And it appears the first wide receiver is off the board, and it will be Drake London from USC.
Wow.
Okay.
All right,
So, P. Shark, I will start with you on this one. Is this the first shock of the night?
Not really. He's my number 2 receiver. So, he's a big target. Hey, got him and Kyle Pitts. Hey, Marcus Mariota, this is your chance right here.
And Ryan, same question. Do you feel that London's going to be a huge difference maker right now in this offense? Is it tailored to Marcus Mariota where he can have success with a very driven wide receiver, to say the least.
Yeah, I think so. If you think about Arthur Smith's offense, it's predicated on play action passing. Mariota was pretty good at play action passing when he was the quarterback for our Tennessee Titans. So I think with a guy like Drake London, he's a big guy, big body receiver along with Pitts, and I think that's he's a big target. Mariota can't overthrow. You wouldn't think Mario will overthrow a big target, but it could happen. So, but I think it's a solid pick for the Falcons.
Tyler, same question.
Yeah, like these guys have said, I think it's a solid pick for the Falcons. I'm not going to say that I'm surprised that he's the first one off the board, because I feel like between, like some of the top guys like Jameson Williams, Garrett Wilson, and Drake London, that any of those guys have the ability to go first. So I'm not going to say that it's really a surprise in the draft so far. I think it comes back to when the Falcons went through their process, they got to Drake London and they were like, hey, this is the guy that we think is going to be the better fit for us, so let's go ahead and grab him.
Falcons find a replacement receiver for their star receiver that'll be out for the year. Drake London, I think, is a great asset to the Falcons' offense. Can they get back to the right footing that they need to be on to be successful? Only time will tell.
Hopefully, he don't like gambling.
Hopefully not. But like I said, only time will tell. All right, and next up on the board, we have the Seattle Seahawks. And, of course, making that huge Russell Wilson trade with the Denver Broncos gave them a little bit more assets going forward in the draft. But, Ryan, starting with the Seahawks, we know that quarterback could be what they want to go with in this draft, but is it the best pick for them?
I don't think so, and the reason why is it's kind of like with the Giants and these other teams that have been needing offensive line help for so long. They failed Russell Wilson pretty much with O-line, with the lack of O-line help. I would probably say, I think they would go offensive line, but I wouldn't be shocked if they go with quarterback here. But I think they shouldn't, though. I think they should go with offensive line.
Tyler, same question.
Yeah, I agree with Ryan. I think that offensive line should be where they primarily look. You think back to Russell Wilson, how many times he was having to run around like crazy back there, just escape the pocket and really extend. I don't know if you can call it extending plays too much, because it seemed like as soon as he got the ball, he was having to go ahead and take off running. So, I think that offensive line would be a better pick for them. But if they want to go quarterback, I think Willis can move around a little bit. So, do you want to give him the Russell Wilson treatment and tell him get back there and as soon as you catch it, start running around?
And it looks like they have made their decision. They will go offensive line, and it will be Charles Cross from Mississippi State. So, an interesting pick there. So, P. Shark, do you think this is a good fit for them?
Yep, I was thinking along what the guys were thinking. Offensive line, just like the Giants. Seattle is another team been needing offensive line for like the last 10 years. So, they like teams who been needing offensive line. They haven't been addressing it. Finally decided to address it a little bit. Although the Giants selected Eric Flowers, he doesn't work out a couple years ago. But things happen. But that was the right move. They need the offense. They need really the offensive line or anything on defense. Their defense has been horrible the last couple of years. And Bobby Wagner's gone now as well. So they're in rebuild mode all around.
And I will give an apology to Mr. Charles Cross. That seems to be the one player that I forgot to put a picture up of their profile. So, My apologies, sir. I thought I had everybody on here, but that's just what happens when you rush things, so I will take the blame on that one. So, Seattle, you definitely get a good offensive lineman on this one. My apologies, I don't have a photo of him, but yeah, he's a pretty stout fella, so you can just take my word for that. All right, and it looks like the Jets are back on the board. And it would have to be the big thing right here that now they're going to look at the offense. More than likely, we might see another wide receiver going forward. So, Tyler, do you think that the Jets keep the wide receiver train running?
I think they do. I think that's going to be where they go right here, and I think it's going to be Garrett Wilson. I think he'll be the second one off the board. I would be very surprised if the Jets do not go wide receiver.
And Ryan, if they don't go wide receiver, what could be another position that they need to fulfill?
They definitely need some edge. They definitely need somebody to get after the quarterback. I mean, you got a defensive-minded head coach, so I'm pretty sure he wants to get some defensive-minded players and get some young guys that can get after the quarterbacks. I'll probably say if they don't go wide receiver, which I think they will, I will say probably maybe an edge rusher.
P. Shark, do you feel that Garrett Wilson might be the one off the board next, or would they be looking somewhere else?
I think I'm going to go with surprise for him. They seem like a team that will want like the speed receiver type. So I could very well see Jameson Williams or Chris Olave in this situation. Only because you got to kind of like, Corey Davis, who can give you all the just, route tree possession type receiver. You got Elijah Moore in the slot. I could see them going for just that outside speedster. But Garrett Wilson is the next best receiver. So it wouldn't shock me either way, but I think they go speed.
Now, could we see a potential trade here? This is right at 10, and this is where some of the teams are going to start getting a little antsy between, I'd say, 10 and 21. So could we see a trade here, or would we see one a little further down? And I'll give that one to you, Ryan.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, this is usually, to your point, this is like the spot where you'll see a trade. But I think the Jets need so much. It has to be a trade package that's worth giving up that spot. And for a team that needs a lot of help, I probably need the best package possible.
And Tyler, if there's a potential trade with the Jets, what do you think would be the best team to make that jump? The Saints do have a lot of draft capital if they wanted to make a move.
I was just looking down through here, and I think probably the Saints, if they want to go ahead, jump up, make sure they can grab a guy here that they want. Like you said, they have the draft capital right here to do that. So I think the Saints would be the best option to possibly trade up here.
And P-Shark, really, the Jets, like I said, in a good position to make a trade. Would it be in their best interest, especially knowing that they have to add some more pieces to the puzzle they're trying to build?
Yeah, unless San Francisco is offering Deebo Samuel for their 9th pick. That's the only trade that should consider.
And that's a great point you bring up. I am surprised that trade talks of other players have been kind of quiet. We usually do have some rumors that kind of leak, especially during the draft eve. So could we potentially see Deebo be moved sometime in the draft?
I don't think so. Unless it's for this pick, I don't think so. I think it's going to be one of the situations where he's going to end up playing with San Francisco this season. I don't think he's getting traded.
Ryan, your take on that?
Yeah, I tend to agree with Shark on this one. It seems like every year in the draft, there's one unhappy player that possibly could get traded during the draft, and it never really happens. I think it's just I think it's going to be the same case in this situation.
Tyler, are you feeling the same as everyone else?
Yeah, Debo's not going anywhere. He's going to be with the 49ers this next year.
And we apparently have no trades all across the boards. And we still wait to see who will be selected with this pick coming up for the New York Jets. Might be talking a trade, but I wouldn't hold my breath on it. But while we're waiting, we'll go ahead and take a quick 30-second break. And we'll be right back, and hopefully we'll have something to let you know. I'm Michael Bishop with the Power Hour, and we'll be back in 30. The Power Hour is on the air, live streaming to you on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. Welcome to the Power Hour Draftacular. Joining me are Titan Time Podcast, Ryan Harris, and P. Shark. Fellas, I want to thank you once again for joining me on the show. It is great to have you guys on with this first draft experience for everybody out there.
For sure. Thank you for having me.
Yes, always a great time coming on here
thank
with you, Power Hour. And what better way to to go through tonight than on this amazing show, watching the draft unfold and just breaking it all down.
And I appreciate those kind words. It's always great to have you guys on. Love your insight, love your shows, love what you do. Continue to do it. And of course, you saw on our preview, we've got a surprise for the fans. So what will it be? You'll have to tune in May 2nd and find out. Austin Huff will be joining us on that show, but I promise you, it's going to be something special. You don't want to miss it. Well, guys, we're waiting on this pick, and it appears we've got an update right now, and it appears the Jets will be going with Garrett Wilson from Ohio State. So, P-Shark, your guy is going to be a Jet. And your thoughts on that?
It's the best receiver in the draft. They took him. They've been wanting a receiver, so there they go. They got their wish. So we can kill the A.J. Brown rumors. Y'all can still get my video views up about your boy segment about A.J. Brown. He ain't going nowhere.
And Ryan, it's nice to have those rumors finally dead and over with. What are the Jets getting with P-Shark's best wide receiver in the draft?
Just another guy to help Zach Wilson out because he definitely needs it. Corey Davis is a number 2 receiver or a number 3 receiver, like I said. Elijah Moore, he's going to be playing mostly in the slot. You got another weapon. So if you're Zach Wilson, you got your young receivers. Now it's time for you to step it up and basically kind of take another step in your maturation and be that franchise quarterback that they've just been waiting for.
And Tyler, I don't know if you've got the chance to watch any of his games or any of his film, but definitely just an amazing receiver, an amazing skill set. Do you think that this will take Zach Wilson to the next level?
It better, because I think that basically what the Jets are doing, they're putting the pieces around Zach Wilson and saying, okay, here's what we're giving you. Pressure's on, essentially. Like, there's no excuses going forward. Like, we're putting the young weapons around you. Go make it happen.
Jets finally adding, hopefully, a star wide receiver along with their other players. Will he work out? Can he work out? I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But while we wait, it appears that the Washington Commanders, yes, I'm still getting used to that as well, are on the clock, and it'll be interesting to see which way they go. So, Tyler, I'll start back with you again. The Commanders definitely have quite a few things on the docket to try and upgrade this team. So what do you think the best position for them to be in would be to draft the best player available? Do you think that they should stay as they are, or do you think that they should trade down?
I think they probably stay here, and I could be completely wrong right here, but I just have that gut feeling that we may see the first quarterback taken right here. I think that Carson Wentz is just kind of a I don't even want to say a Band-Aid because I don't see him as that, but he's just a filler right now. I think that we could see the first quarterback go off the board in Malik Willis, and them give him a year to just kind of develop more behind Wentz before taking over the team.
And that's a great point right there. Ryan, do you share that sentiment? Do you think that the Washington Commanders, because I've got to keep saying that to get used to it, do you think that that's the best option for them, is to go quarterback, let him sit and learn?
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the options. I'm going to call them the Washington football team, and today a more company franchise. But I would say that I think Washington definitely I thought they would pick. I think they might go wide receiver here, too. I'm looking at maybe Jameson Williams as their guy. But I think that, if they go quarterback, that might be the great spot there. And I'm going to say it, Tyler. Carson Wentz is definitely a Band-Aid.
Well, I didn't want to, insult Band-Aids out there. Like, he's just more of a filler.
And P Shark's breaking us in with some news. We have a trade. So, Shark, what's going on the trade set? Does it look like?
I don't know what the trade is, but the Saints are going to be 11 now.
All right. Well, we've got a shake-up here, and we could potentially see a quarterback go. So the Saints have probably moved some capital. We'll get more details on what they gave up to move up to that position. But P-Shark, we'll go ahead with you. The Saints have decided to move up. Could potentially be quarterback, could potentially be an offensive lineman. What route do you think that they should be going?
I have no idea, because it could be wide receiver.
And another great point.
They just resigned Jameis, but I still could see them taking a quarterback. Michael Thomas is coming back, so maybe they depend on him at receiver.
All right, and Albert Breer is giving me the details. The Saints traded away their 16th, a third rounder, and a fourth to the Washington football team for pick 11. So Washington ends up with 3 picks for pick 11. So, Ryan, do you think that was a steal for the Washington, whatever they are?
I ain't gonna say it's a steal, but I think it's a good package for the pick. I really don't know what the Saints are gonna do here. They can go a lot of different directions, but they do have Jameis at quarterback. Taysom Hill, whatever he is, I don't think he's a quarterback. He's just a player with no position. He's a positionless player. So basically, they might go quarterback.
Tyler, do you feel that this might be the first quarterback off the board?
I'm still going to stick with my gut feeling and say that quarterback is going here at 11. Just had the team wrong because the Saints decided they wanted to move up. But, going to be Ryan and P-Shark both made great points, but I'm going to stick with my gut feeling.
And I'm going to take a short little victory lap because I did say a trade could potentially be coming sometime between those rounds, between 10 and 21. So I'll gently pat myself on the back, but not too much. So a pretty good trade right there for whatever the Saints are deciding to go in whatever direction they feel is the best way to address their team needs. But I do feel we could potentially see the first quarterback off the board. I think Malik Willis might be that first quarterback. His skill set definitely would improve the Washington, I hate the Daniel Snyders. So along that line, you have to think they have to find somebody long term. Carson Wentz is definitely not it. So once again, we'll just have to hold our breath and wait and see. But the funny thing is with these trades, they already know who they're getting, so I don't know why we have to play this out.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't. Do we potentially see a double trade here? I don't see that happening.
I hope to God no. That wouldn't make any sense.
I mean, because they really gave away a lot of capital just to get that 11th pick, so I can't even really think off the top of my head. Has there ever been a double trade in an NFL draft?
Not that I can think of.
Yeah, not that I can recall.
And it looks like we've got our pick in, and the Commanders are drafting Chris Olave from Ohio State. Olave. Thank you.
Oh, wow.
I can't talk today. That's why I'm glad I've got P Shark. P Shark's got my back.
Hey. Chris Olave.
I can't English well today. Well, Tyler, we'll go ahead and start with you. Do you think this was worth trading up for the Commanders?
I think it was. I think that, the Saints looked at everyone in front of them and they were like, Olave's he may not fall to us. They're at 16, so let's go ahead, jump up, grab our guy, and not waste any time.
Ryan, same question. Do you feel that Olave is the best pick for the Commanders going forward? Do you think that this could potentially be what Carson Wentz needs to unlock his potential?
Yeah, I mean the Saints. I mean, if you looked at the Saints' offense, it's you couldn't really, besides Michael Thomas, you really don't know the receivers there. So I think it's a really good pick. I say that if you love someone, get them, and if you're gonna trade up to get someone, and that means you love that player. So that means I think this is gonna be a really good fit for him, and I think the Saints are going to be looking a little bit better on offense.
Chris Olave is now a Washington football whatever you are. So adding another key receiver, I think helps them move forward as a team. I think their offense definitely becomes a little more dynamic. It'll be interesting to see what they do going forward with the rest of the draft. But I do think that wide receiver, they've definitely improved themselves dramatically.
I do got some news. The 49ers, the Jets did reach out to the 49ers about Deebo Samuel just a few minutes ago before that pick, and the 49ers rejected their trade offer.
And we have an exclusive there. So there was a trade potentially in the works, but unfortunately it just didn't work out, but that happens in the draft. But moving forward on to our next pick, the Minnesota Vikings are on the clock. And P-Shark, there's a lot of different positions and different ways that Minnesota could go here. What would be the best pick for the Minnesota Vikings?
Man, truth be told, quarterback, but they love to pay Kirk Cousins for the guaranteed deals for whatever reason. So they ain't gonna give a quarterback. Offensive line definitely to help protect them since they want to pay him, or defense. I think they are great at the positional weapons on offense are set. So it's literally offensive line over defense.
And Tyler, same question. Do you feel that the Vikings need to try and solidify one of their lines?
Yeah, more than likely. I'll be honest, I have no idea where the Vikings are going to go with this pick. I mean, every other team I've kind of had an idea, but I really don't know.
And
right
Tyler,
here.
I'll jump in real quick. We have another trade. And it appears Detroit has jumped in front of the Vikings, sending 32, 34, and 66 for their number 12 and their 46 pick. So as soon as we started talking about the Vikings, we're already back with the Detroit Lions. And I would have to think right now that this could potentially be a quarterback right here. So, Ryan, do you think that this is the way the Lions are going to go?
I think it is. I think this is the kind of move for a quarterback. I really maybe we kind of banging on this Malik Willis drum, but I think this is Malik Willis here. I think he did try out for when he did his pro day and everything. Detroit was there. They were one of the teams that was there watching him. So I think this is definitely a quarterback.
And P. Shark, if we're going to go quarterback here, would Malik Willis be the right fit for Detroit?
I was thinking quarterback. I'm on Twitter. Somebody just said Jameson Williams. So I don't. I have no idea what's going on. I thought I had the antenna pulled up, and they just now getting to the pick. I have no idea.
The whole world out right now is losing their mind, and we're just trying to catch up. And I think Malik Willis, if that's the way Detroit wants to go, would be a really good fit for Detroit. I think they've got some really nice young pieces. I think you've helped your defensive line, especially with the addition of Hutchinson. I think he'll be great for them. So, really along the lines, you knew Jared Goff wasn't going to be a long-term solution in Detroit. So, I think this brings a little more excitement back to the Motor City. So, I'd like to see what he can do.
It is Jameson Williams.
Yep, I just got the same notification.
And Tyler, we'll go ahead and start with you. What are your takeaways from the Detroit pick?
I actually missed who it was. I had to step out for just a second. Who did they end up taking?
Jameson.
Jameson.
Yep.
I'm surprised. I really thought they'd take a quarterback, but I think Jameson is a good pick for them. Just adding to their weapons. I can't complain about that pick.
And Ryan, we knew that his stock was going to rise, especially knowing what we saw from him at Alabama, unfortunately, until the injury. So do you think that he'll be ready by the time training camp rolls around, or do you think they want to just ease him into it and try not to risk anything?
I think the best option is to just ease him in. It's not like the Lions competing for a Super Bowl or playoffs or anything. They're just trying to stockpile talent on both sides of the football. So I think the safest option would just be to ease him in because, Jared Goff ain't going to be your quarterback for too long. So basically he could probably get, his college quarterback bet for the 2023 draft, Bryce Young. So I'm calling it now, Bryce Young to the Lions.
And we've got an exclusive there. Bryce Young will be a Detroit Lion in 2023. So book it, bank it, do whatever you need to do. But you heard it here first. I'm just amazed that we had 2 trades back to back.
Yeah, wide receivers, hot commodity.
A very heavy commodity, especially the last of those 2 picks that we saw that got traded ended up getting about 3 picks in return. So the capital was very, very handsome.
And they moved ahead. So Philly was probably going to take a receiver, and both those teams moved ahead of them. So it makes sense.
Yep.
And it looks like Houston is on the clock again. So adding another piece to the puzzle of what is the Houston Texans. So, Tyler, I have to ask, they've already gone defense. You would think that offense is going to be the focus here. Could we see another receiver go, or could they potentially go quarterback if they don't feel confident enough with Mills.
Well, unless I'm wrong here, it looks like maybe
Another trade.
another trade. Philly's moved up
Really?
they traded with the Texans. So things are starting to get crazy here now.
They are.
So
we are literally seeing a flurry of trades just break down.
So I'm trying to figure out who Philly might be moving up to grab right here.
I know they want receiver. I don't.
I think it's a desperate move because they just saw the last two picks become wide receivers, and I'm pretty sure they were the top two in their board. So
Right.
they might reach and get a receiver.
Yeah.
Could we potentially see Treyon Burks go? He's been mock drafted to the Philly quite a bit.
That's the only name I could really think of right now
Go this high.
that they would jump up and grab.
So we have seen already not one, not two, but three trades in this draft, and we haven't even gotten past pick 14. So as it stands right now, after the Eagles select their traded pick, the Ravens are going to be on the clock next. I'll go ahead and ask, P-Shark, are we potentially going to see another trade? Could we go for 4 in a row?
Man, at this point, the sky's the limit. The Ravens, I could very well see them taking a wide receiver. So, like about to be, I should have took that bet. It was over 6 wide receivers getting drafted in the first round. I probably should have went ahead and took that bet. Couldn't make some money, but.
And it looks like the Eagles have made their pick, and it will be Georgia defensive tackle Jordan Davis.
Oh.
Okay.
So, interesting take there. So, Ryan, what's your takeaway from this trade?
Yeah, I think Fletcher Cox is a free agent. Is that correct?
No, they resigned him. They could
re-signed him.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, they might be, the heir apparent to Fletcher Cox. I know Fletcher has been in the league for quite some time. I think it's a good pick. A little surprised. I thought they probably would have reached and got a wide receiver, but I think they probably went with the need. They probably went with another need as opposed to the wide receiver.
And P-Shark, I mean, it's potential the Eagles could trade in the first round again to get a wide receiver if they need it, but do you think it's potential? Do you think that they would, or do you think it's just they've made their pick and they're done for tonight?
I don't know. Don't they still have 2 first-round picks? Yeah, I thought when they made the trade with the Saints, they had 3, but they traded 2 of them for their pick. So I think they have 2 first-round picks.
They do have pick 18.
Yeah.
Yeah. They probably just wait and select a receiver there.
But as quick as the receivers are going off the board, and Ryan, I'll give you this one, do you think that they might make another trade? Especially knowing that the next 4 teams with the Ravens, the Texans again, the Commanders, and the Chargers could potentially be going offense right here, or at least 3 of them could be going wide receiver.
I really don't even know. This draft is just gotten from being like super quick into now everybody's making trades. I think that if Philly wants to get a wide receiver in this first round, they're gonna have to leapfrog a couple of these teams. A couple of these teams are gonna get a wide receiver. I don't know which teams, but if they really need a wide receiver, then I feel like they're probably gonna trade up. But I think they might be done for the day. Well, other than their third pick.
And Tyler, we're waiting on the Ravens right now to make their decision. So going forward for the Ravens, we know that they need to try and build around Lamar Jackson. So who do you think would be the best fit for the Baltimore Ravens to go after?
Let's see here. I'm all out of sorts right now because of how the last several picks have been going, all the trades.
I know this draft's drunk and it needs to go home. At least just sleep it off for a few minutes.
I'm trying to think of. I'm actually wondering if the Ravens will even add to their offense. I could see them going defense here and just trying to build up the defense more. Get back to some of those shutdown Ravens defenses that we've saw in the past. Other than that, like I said, I'm all out of sorts right now. But I'm gonna say that they end up actually not going offense; they go defense.
And there's still plenty of really good defensive players. So, Ryan, do you think for the Ravens that they might try and solidify the defensive line, or maybe even their linebacking core?
Yeah, I was kind of leaning towards the linebacking core. I think that, defensively, I think the Ravens, they put their money on their defense, even though, they want to, give Lamar as much help as possible. But I think, they went wide receiver in the last draft. I don't know if they're going to go wide receiver 2 drafts in a row in the first round. So I think they're going to go defense, particularly the linebacker, somebody from linebacker.
And P. Shark, same question. Do you think that might be the best way for the Ravens to go, or they could look like they could add some secondary help if they wanted?
Yeah, I could see them going anywhere. Defense, linebacker, secondary. I guess they want to take a receiver now. That's probably the only thing on offense I would think they would need. So, yeah, I'm thinking defense. I'm with Ryan.
All right, so we definitely feel the Ravens might be looking defensive at this point. And I would have to say, looking at my board right now, that I haven't had an opportunity to look at because everything's just been going bananas. But as my board looks, right now the best defensive players available, you have Kyle Hampton, and you have George Karl Aftis, if I pronounced that right. My apologies if I didn't. And Career Elam if they want to go cornerback. But Trent McDuffie also is available. So is there anybody that's standing out right now to any of you guys?
See.
And the Ravens pick is in, and we're waiting momentarily. And they're taking Kyle Hamilton. So,
my TV is on Philadelphia.
Yeah.
P Shark's got like 90 different things going on, so it's understandable. He's trying to keep up with everything. There's NBA going on. There's the draft going on. There might be baseball going on. I'm not sure, but he's staying busy.
Yeah, I've got the live draft board on my phone, and it's still showing pick is in for Philadelphia and pick is in for the Ravens. Right. I'm like, come on, let's get this rolling so I can actually see them.
Right.
Luckily, Albert Breer is keeping me informed, so he is one of the best in the biz. So shout out to Albert Breer for getting me all these updates and keeping everybody informed. But Kyle Hampton at 14. So, Ryan, I got to start with you first. The Ravens are always looking for secondary help, and it seems like they find gems. Do you think they found a gem here?
I mean, judging by their history, they always draft well in the secondary. And Kyle Hamilton could be the next great safety. I'm not going to say he's Ed Reed. as a bit of a stretch, but I think that I think he's a solid player who's going to help. I think they can help their defense out immediately. And like I said, the Ravens have always been a defensive oriented team, and he's probably going to be a guy that's going to probably be in contention for defensive rookie of the year.
And Tyler, I don't know if you had a whole lot of opportunities to see Kyle Hamilton play, maybe on TV, maybe some highlights on SportsCenter, but a great skill set for a young player that could potentially help elevate a defense that was lackluster last year. So, do you think that this was a good fit?
He froze.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right.
He just froze.
I didn't know if it was me or him that froze there.
Oh man.
Oh man, we've lost our host.
All right, well, I'm gonna just take over for.
All right. We're trying to fix some technical difficulties. My apologies. Hopefully we didn't crash, so everybody seems like they're coming back on. So can we hear it?
I can hear you.
All right. I think we might have had a minor crash, so my apologies on that.
I say I can't see you, but I can hear you.
We'll get the view fixed in a moment, but as long as you can hear me, that's fine. We're kind of flickering in and out, so I'll try and get that fixed shortly, but all right. I forgot what I was asking, and it appears the Texans are on the board. So, Ryan, I'll go ahead and start with you. Do you feel that the Texans are going to try and add more defensive help, or do you think that it's going to be an offensive situation where they try and add more talent, maybe more depth?
I could probably see Burks probably going in this particular spot here. Maybe a little bit of a reach, but I think this would probably be a good spot for him. Like I said, they need somebody other than Cooks to catch the ball. So I think Burks will be the good spot here. I feel like I'm talking to a spiritual being with not seeing your face.
I promise you I'm here. There's just, unfortunately, technical difficulties I'm trying to, get through, so hopefully I can make something work. But unfortunately, my apologies for that. Just try and continue to do what we're doing. Hopefully we can get P-Shark back on. I see him right there. All right, we've got the gang back together, and I am invisible. So, as always, it's great to have everybody here. Welcome to the Power Hour. I'm the room that Michael Bishop is in. Joining me is Tyler, Ryan Harris, and P-Shark. Great having you on, guys. We'll just try and work through these technical difficulties as they go. If I've got to take myself off the screen, I will. But we'll just try our best and get this situation to unfold a little better, hopefully. So, I suppose the Eagles traded up again. So I just looked while my room's flickering, and apparently we've got another trade. So the Eagles have moved up and taken pick 15 from the Houston Texans.
Wow.
Oh.
While my room's having a seizure, Ryan, what do you think the Eagles are going to go with this pick?
Got to be wide receiver, right? I would think. I mean, Burks is still available. I would say Burks will be the guy. Basically a AJ. I said an AJ Brown clone. So I think that this will be. I think that would be the pick.
And Tyler, what's your take on that?
I think if they're moving up again, they had to think that someone was going to grab a receiver here. So move up and get your guy.
And P Shark, your take on that?
So what? Sorry, my wife walked in. What big number we on?
We're on 15, and apparently the Eagles have traded with Houston.
Sure, I see. Your boy Albert Breer said the Texans took Kenyon Green.
All right. And you're right. Kenyon Green apparently is off the board. He will stay in the state of Texas, and Houston adds a huge piece to their offensive line. Tyler, how do you like this selection?
I'm surprised by this. I didn't think that Green would go this early, but Texans wanting to help their offensive line get kind of like the situation with Detroit and Aiden Hutchinson, getting a guy that played college ball there in Texas, keep him around. I think it's a good pick for him.
And Ryan, I have to ask the same question. Do you feel that this was a nice pickup for the Texans, helping solidify their offensive line?
Yeah, I'm kind of with Tyler. I was pretty surprised with this draft pick. I'm not going to even lie. I didn't think, O-line guard would be the pick, especially at this spot. But I think, if you're going to say that Mills is going to be the guy, at least for this year anyway, at least, the best thing you want to do is protect him. So I think it's a solid pick. Maybe a bit of a reach, but I think it's a solid pick.
And it looks like there's been another trade. It doesn't affect any of the picks right now, but the Ravens traded Marquise Brown to the Cardinals.
Wow. Okay.
Wow. Didn't see that.
Yeah.
I just saw it now. Wow.
Didn't see that coming.
Yeah. Traded
Of all the receivers.
Traded Brown and pick 100 to the Cardinals for the 23rd pick.
Yeah, they're taking the receiver.
Yep.
They got to replace him. And they got Rashad Bateman last year. Mm-hmm. And Cardinals got another speedster. They replaced Christian Kirk, basically.
Yep.
He's
the Kirk replacement.
Yeah, AJ Green gone, I think.
I think AJ's still there.
Yeah, I think they just resigned him like last week.
Yeah.
I think about it.
Yeah.
He old.
I'm surprised the Cardinals went and got Marquise Brown. I thought they would probably give Rondé Moore some more, a little bit more of an opportunity.
Oh, Washington taking receiver, Jahan Dotson, 16th.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I started following the Mike's guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man. My TV's still on the Texans.
Yeah.
He kind of like Woj. He kind of like Woj in the NBA draft.
You're right. I'm about to lock me into this last 2 minutes of this Pelicans Suns game, though. Welcome back, Devin Booker. Wow.
Well, even though we can't hear him, I was about to say,
He's still working.
he's putting in the behind the scenes work for us.
Oh, can you hear me now?
But we can.
Yep.
We can hear you.
Oh, this is going belly up, but I'm trying to make it work. How many trades is that now? I think we're at 5 now.
Let's see.
Mhm.
One,
I think so, yeah.
3.
So we're still trying to get out of this round, and we've already put up 5 trades.
Yep.
So this might be the most trades I've seen in a single draft just before we've even got through 10 picks.
Yeah, no
Well,
quarterbacks.
we wanted to get crazy, right?
I'd say crazy, not bananas.
And no quarterbacks.
So if we do see a quarterback, it might be potentially at 19 or 20. So, Tyler, I'll let you take that one. Do you think we'll see a quarterback between the Saints or the Steelers?
Yeah, a quarterback's getting taken by 20. I don't think the Steelers. I don't think we get past their pick without a quarterback being taken if no one before them takes one.
So, P. Shark, do you think that it's going to come down to Willis, or is it going to come down to Pickett?
Ooh, that's tough. It depends on who takes the quarterback. The Steelers is tough because, like I said, I think Malik Willis has the most potential, and they could draft him. He could sit, but Kenny Pickett is right there. You know, he played at Pittsburgh. He from I don't know if he's actually from Pittsburgh. I need to look that up or not, but he's right there. So that's tough to say with him. Same thing with the Saints. I think the Saints will take Malik Willis. The Steelers will be tough.
And Ryan, what's your take?
Yeah, it's going to be kind of tough. It's kind of going to depend on, is it a schematic fit? I'm not sure what the Saints are going to do on offense now that they don't have Sean Payton running the show. So I'm not sure how they're going to be from a philosophy standpoint. But if you're Pittsburgh, if you got Malik Willis and Pickett to choose from, that's going to be a very tough situation for you because you probably had this ideal of, okay, we're going to go with this guy because he's going to fall in our lap. Now you got the possibility of 2 quarterbacks, both of the quarterbacks falling into your lap. Now you got to make a tough decision. So I definitely don't want to be a GM for the Pittsburgh right now.
And it's going to be interesting to see which way the Chargers go. I think you have to believe that defense might be another key factor here. They could add another defensive tackle to shore up their defense. Tyler, do you think that might be the best way for the Chargers to go, especially after they spent a buttload of money revamping the team?
Yeah, I think defense is going to be the way to go. There's still some good defensive players left. I was trying to look and see what their needs are. I know it looks like offensive line, defensive line, and receiver, but I just don't see them doing anything with the offense right here at 17.
Looks like they are taking the guy that I thought the Titans was going to pick, Zion Johnson, the Chargers.
Oh, well.
Well, that's a bummer.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Either trade
And-
back or my
and just-
not drink yo. Ooh.
But at the same time,
might just be
that does open the door for a lot of interesting possibilities. Zion is off the board, but there are still some very good players left, including Burks at the moment, and including potentially adding more tackle help with Penning, or, of course, Smith. But I think people would be burning their couches outdoors if that's what would happen. So, unfortunately, we have to talk about Zion Johnson, but we won't talk about him too long. Ryan, how do you think that this will help the Chargers' offense, especially with the young core that they have with Justin Herbert continuing to grow?
Well, you just said it. Young quarterback, you need offensive line help. They addressed the offensive line last year, getting a couple of pieces. Now they going right back into the offensive line. So they're kind of taking a page off Cincinnati's book with what Cincinnati's done in the free agency period, where they addressed their offensive line for Burrow. So the Chargers doing the exact same thing. They're just making sure they got their 5 best O linemen, and they're going for it. They're gonna make sure Justin Herbert is going to be the guy to take them to take the Chargers to the next level.
All right, I'm getting a trade from Adam Scheffner right now, and it says the Titans are planning to trade wide receiver A.J. Brown to the Eagles right now as I'm reading it.
Dang, it just broke my
So
heart.
from Adam Scheffner, the Titans are planning to trade A.J. Brown to the Eagles per source right now.
For number 18 and a 3rd round pick.
Are you serious?
Whoa.
No way.
And now the Titans are on the clock.
Yep, that is it. I just got 3 sources that just said it. Yep.
And
Yeah.
it would appear right now that they are going to go wide receiver.
They're going to go with the A.J. Brown 2.0, Burks. I think that's what they're going to go with.
And as I said, breaking news, A.J. Brown has been traded. And appears for a 3rd round pick and an 18. So we're already talking about this early, guys. P-Shark, I'll let you start. What are your feelings on this trade?
We got an Eagles fan on my Let's Be Real podcast. I got to talk to this man Saturday. Saturday morning.
And Titans Twitter is freaking out right now. So for that, Tennessee gets 18, and they get their 3rd rounder, 101. Crazy. I know we're in disbelief. We're in shock. If you're joining us, this is breaking news. It just came over the wire from Adam Scheffner. So now we're waiting to see what the Tennessee Titans are adding. And it has to be wide receiver at this point. So, believe me, if you are in shock right now, we are all in shock. And A.J. Brown is now a Philadelphia Eagle. Tennessee has moved up the board, and you would have to think wide receivers basically the way they're going to have to go. I just don't see them not moving up this far in the draft and not taking a wide receiver, especially with the receiver room the way it is right now.
Man, wow.
I got nothing. They traded this man for the 18th pick. Not the 9th pick. 18.
Yeah.
And it's hard for us to fathom what's going on right now. A lot of upset people, understandable, but understandably, Tennessee does add 2 picks, but it's at a very high cost. They get rid of one of their key pieces. Moving forward, you have to think that Tennessee, knowing that they're a running team, knowing that they had to try and add a piece in the draft, but you didn't want it to end up this way. So we're still waiting for the pick right now. Tennessee's still on the clock. We'll go real quick while they're on the clock. Ryan, we'll start with you. Where do you think the Titans go from here?
You would think wide receiver, right? I, I don't know, man. John Robinson does throw curveballs. He might actually draft a quarterback. I don't know, but it just. I'll say this. I look at the glass half full, and this is I'm just going on a limb here. I think that the last time the Titans traded a wide receiver to the Eagles, it worked out. They traded Dorian Green Beckham. A lot of people were high on him. Of course, he wasn't A.J. Brown, but it worked out at the end. I'm just going to say that hopefully that it works out in the end. But, man, this kind of sucks. I ain't going to even lie to you. This sucks.
Tyler, I'll let you take it from there.
Man, this stings like it. I'm still hoping that I'm gonna wake up here in a minute and this just be a very, very bad dream. I would say that the pick has to be receiver, but I don't know. I'm in shock. I didn't think that there would be any way they would deal A.J. Brown. So I wouldn't be surprised if they went quarterback, or maybe these people that were mocking a linebacker to him were right. Maybe we go linebacker right here.
I think Titans Twitter would burn Elon Musk's new acquired acquisition down to the ground if that happens. So
I think they're already ready to.
Giving away 2 picks for our star receiver. So at this point, you would have to think that they tried to make a discussion here and it just didn't work out. There's just shock all over. Even Taylor Lewan's tweeted, what? People are trying to figure out what the hell has just happened here. And you have to think at this point that this has to be one hell of a pick right now that they're replacing him with.
Man, I'm more hurt. I'm about just as hurt as I was at the end of the Cincinnati game right now.
Yeah,
it's about the same.
I don't. Even Kevin Byard brought out and he is not happy about this. People are angry.
I saw a lot of Titans players. Jeffrey Simmons was asking what's going on. Taylor Lewan was in disbelief,
It's hard to find the answer with what's going on right now. There's just so much emotion. I really feel, and here's the pick, and apparently it's coming in. And the Tennessee Titans are taking Treylon Burks at 18, so they will replace him. Burks takes over at that position. So they trade A.J. Brown with essentially what was going to be A.J. Brown in this draft. So it's interesting how it happened, and it's unfortunate that it happened. But we'll start with that. And Tyler, I'll go with you. As it appears, Burks will be the pick. How do you think that this is going to transition? Do you think that this is a pick that John Robinson is going to have just work?
Yeah, here's the thing. Burks is going to have to come in and not only be what we were hoping that he would be if we got him and paired him with AJ, but now, we knew what we had with AJ. We knew the talent that he had, everything. So now, by J-Rob giving away AJ to trade up and get Burks right here, honestly, I feel bad for Burks because this is going to put so much – Titans fans are going to expect so much from him and put so much pressure on him.
And I will say this before I get to Ryan next. I know everybody's upset, but I myself a long time ago said I don't get emotionally involved with a lot of these players because things like this happen and you can't, because when you're trying to do things in the media and you're trying to give out expertise on this, you kind of have to detach yourself from some of the players. And I love A.J. Brown. I thought he was a great guy. I thought he was great for the community. I wanted him to be here a long time. But in some ways, you have to mentally prepare yourself for this. So, am I shocked? Yes. Do I understand the move? No. But at the same time, you still found a pretty good wide receiver. From what I've seen with the film, from what I've heard in interviews, I think Tennessee found a great replacement here. And essentially, if he is A.J. Brown, he may even be better. So, P. Shark, I know it's really hard to take away any positives from this, but do you think that there's any chance that this might potentially be a move that could elevate Tennessee? And it's hard to find an answer for that, but do you think that this could potentially be one of the moves that moves them over the hump?
I have no answer for that. On one hump, you still got a quarterback right there that's still on this roster that they kept over A.J. Brown. I have no words. The 1 through 3 picks when A.J. Brown had 150 yards. I can't. There's no positive for this season.
And I know everybody's shell-shocked. I mean, it's hard to come away from any positives of this. And I don't expect anybody to like the move, and that's fine. But along those lines, I try to find any kind of positive vibe there. It's hard enough, especially knowing that we've lost a guy that we wanted around for a very long time, and it looks as though he's going to get his deal with the Eagles. So, I wish it would have worked out. But at the same aspect, it is what it is.
I would say this. I think, for the future, sure, this season, I already had us as not Super Bowl contenders anyway because of Ryan Tannehill. And trade A.J. Brown pretty much just solidified to me that even the division, the Colts looking very likely for the division now. But we'll see. We're still gonna be competitive. We're still gonna be in the running for the playoffs. But I think it's definitely solidified that this Super Bowl window within the next 1 or 2 years is closed.
And I mean, that's a lot to take in. And this is basically a punch to the stomach of all Titans fans. Everybody's heartbroken tonight. And really, as hard as it is to just try and take anything positive away from it, I have to try and just give a little bit. So if anybody can be the voice of reason here, I'll be the voice of reason. That's fine. And if people want to trash me for it, that's okay too.
Nah, he can't trash you for that, man.
No.
No, I mean, you need positive. Everybody can't have the same reaction. Some people are gonna be upset, some people are gonna be sad, some people are gonna be like, it's the business. I'm kind of more on the lines of, this is a business. You never know what's going on behind the scenes. AJ been tweeting, some cryptic kind of stuff lately. So it was a possibility, but we as fans, we don't expect players to just leave a team that we adore, right? So it's just kind of more along those lines of it's a business. AJ just got his money. He's gonna get $100 million 4 years with the Eagles. So he got his money, and the Titans probably didn't want to pay that. You never know. So I say this: Burks is not going to be AJ Brown coming out the gate. So, I just wanted to kind of make that clear. But hopefully, eventually, as to Shark's point, he may be a guy that could be a valuable piece, but definitely not this year. I don't see it.
This man.
It is.
What I can say is all of us of all our emotions is definitely in the moment. And we all, unlike Titans Twitter, we're all still, even in the ones who are down, like me, we're still positive. We're not down. Like, we're not like going on saying, forget the Titans, I ain't the Titans fan no more, or, we ain't doing all this. Like, all right, this is what we got right now. This is what we got to look forward to this season. Like, it is what it is. It's a good punch. I don't buy many NFL jerseys. I have AJ Brown jersey, and I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do with it. Like,
It's a collector's item now. So
Yeah.
I can't sell it. We didn't win a Super Bowl, so it don't mean much. It don't mean it means something, but it don't mean that much to me because like he broke a record. Broke like a franchise receiving record and everything. So, yeah, he's one of my favorite players. So Stephen Nair's one of my favorite players. So it's the 2 jerseys I got. So yeah, like you said, it's collector's item.
and I mean, everybody's going to be in an even worse mood tomorrow. So, I mean, we just might as well get ready for that. At least we're talking it out now and getting it out in the open. Like Ryan said, it's a business, and that's how I've always looked at it. I learned that when Javon Curse left for the Eagles, so that hurt me at that point. So I learned that the hard way. But he got paid. Good for him. I'm not mad at him for wanting to get paid. The Titans found what they feel is a viable replacement for him, and there's a lot of other things that they could add in this draft. We don't know what they're going to do. Along the lines, we know they need to get offensive line help. Could they potentially bring in a quarterback? Maybe. I mean,
yeah. In my opinion, 26 need to be a quarterback. You can't sell us on trading AJ and keeping Tannehill.
Right.
Well, Tannehill's still gonna be here this year, period. But you can't sell us on not having a plan. You plan for AJ, a life without AJ. Now it's time to plan for life without Tannehill next year. Not this coming season, but next season.
And we've been talking about this so much. I'm trying to catch up with like everything else going on in the draft, but I guess the NFL world is just like literally shocked. So it kind of feels like time just froze. So
Yeah.
It hurts me more because I got one of my closest friends, one of my best friends is an Eagles fan, and we have a podcast. We going live this Saturday talking about this draft, and I got to sit here. I'm over telling him congrats, trying to be just as nice as possible. He over talking about he about to go run butt naked in the street.
Man, Phil Silver's a knock it off, man.
Let's be honest, Shark. Let's be honest here. You're gonna hope that he falls and skins something. Not his knee either.
Dang, Trevor Penny just got taken. Like everybody, all the linemen we wanted to get taken too. So
it is a deep offensive line draft. So, and a lot of takes, especially this morning. You had people saying that this was going to be a wide receiving draft where your best guys were going to be in the first round, and you had to make a move. So, I mean, that takeaway. There's still a lot of great offensive linemen in this draft. You can find them anywhere. Yeah. So Treylon Burks, there's only one Treylon Burks, and I'll take that if anything else. So it's just the narrative here is we traded AJ Brown to bring in another AJ Brown. That's about all I can take away from it. And I'm just going to go out and say this right now. It does. I just want to go
because I think it sucks for him because he about to come to a fan base that's
that's not
going to receive him right now off the top. It's I hate it for him too because I like him as a player, and it's like, dang, like,
yeah, because if he don't produce in Philly, he's gonna hear it.
If he don't produce like right off the bat,
he will. He's gonna have to come in and step up. He's got to be the guy. That's Tennessee handed away their potential future player that was going to be a cornerstone of their franchise for Treylon Burks, and that's really saying something that what they saw in him was worth trading A.J. Brown away. So he will have a lot to live up to.
Yeah, I mean, I feel sorry for Burks, like I was mentioning earlier, because he's a guy that a lot of Titans fans wanted. I mean, we wanted Burks, but not at the cost of A.J. And, now, it's not going to be fair to him because he wasn't the one that, told the Titans, hey, go trade AJ away so you can jump up and grab me. But, fans are going to be so like blinded by
Rage.
rage right now that it's going to be hard for Burks coming in. Like, maybe if his first snap of the home opener, if he takes it 90 yards for a touchdown, Titans fans might be like, okay, might come down just a notch, but
just a little. But this one stings, and I understand. It's gonna sting for a while, but at the same time, it's like we're gonna get over it. We'll move on, and hopefully, we'll get to see him do some amazing things here. That's why we drafted him.
Yep. Well, I mean, in non-Titan news, we just got our first quarterback off the board. Pittsburgh went with Pickett.
They did.
oh, wow.
Yep.
Malik Willis filed to 26, please. That's the dream country for me.
Yep.
I didn't think it was possible.
I mean, at this point, like, don't even try and wait to 26. Like, trade up and
trade up.
grab him.
Get him.
So, I have to admit, throughout all the shock, I forgot we had the 26th pick.
Yeah, I did.
I'm sitting here like, damn, we gave away 26. I was like, wait, we got 26? Holy crap.
And this was already set. A.J. Brown already signed a new deal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
4 years, 100 mil, 57 guaranteed.
Hey, good for him, though.
Yeah.
I just hope he produce in Philly, man, because I know that fan base. Man.
Yeah,
That fan base, man, he gonna really be tweeting some stuff.
Yeah.
yeah, producing in Philly.
I know it's this is like you just got in a bad fist fight and you're just kind of just shaking it off at this point.
Yeah, like you didn't get completely whipped. Like you got some shots in, but
You got your bell rung.
yeah.
Your bell got rung pretty hard. But the fact Tennessee is coming out of this with 2 first-round picks, I feel a little more easy about it. Because I don't know, for whatever reason, I felt like we traded away 26. I've been trying to play catch-up with everything. So through all the craziness, I just forgot to look at everything. I was like, oh, wow, we've still got 26.
What picks are ahead of us right now? New England, Green Bay. Who the other?
We got
Buffalo.
New England, Green Bay, Baltimore, the Cowboys, and Buffalo. So
We got Malik Willis and Lester White right here.
And they could go quarterback here. I'm with P. Shark. They still could go quarterback here. And I think that could take some of the sting away. Because offensive line, it's a very deep draft. I think they could get a tackle or guard still in the 4th or the 3rd round if they wanted to. But right here, I mean, if this is what we're thinking, and if Desmond Ridder is the guy that has been like whispered to the Tennessee Titans, I mean, this could very well happen, and this might even come away as a slight win. We can't call it a total win because A.J. Brown's gone, but this definitely takes a little bit of the sting away because we're building for the future, and it shows that they want to try and contend for a Super Bowl. And if they go after Ridder right here, then they're saying, we're giving Tannehill a chance, but we're building for the future. So you could have a biased situation of what the Chiefs went through at least 4 years ago.
Pat Mahomes. Yep.
So through all that, like I'm trying to catch up with everything else, so there's just a lot going on, and basically just no one saw this coming, but still Tennessee's going to come out of this with 2 first-round picks.
Like someone said, I just thought about that because AJ and Jalen Hurts are like really close. It seems like this is very like orchestrated way. He requested a trade specifically to the Eagles.
Well, there was I think AJ's little girl's birthday was like this past week or weekend, and there was videos of him or a picture of him and Hertz working out together. And of course, when that got leaked and everything, I saw where some people were like, "Oh, AJ to the Eagles." I'm like, "Yeah, whatever." And then now, I'm like, "Okay, well, maybe there was something to that."
There's definitely something to it.
Yep, it was.
Unfortunately, we just didn't read between the lines.
Yeah.
It's the new age of players right here. But shout out to AJ, man. Gave us some good years.
All right.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
Also,
what are you saying, Ryan?
Yeah, I was just gonna add, man. Like, this is what it. If this don't prove to you that don't believe what GMs and head coaches tell you, tell the media, I don't know what else I can tell you, because they're always gonna tell you the generic answer when the media asks about a specific player, especially during the off season. You just take it with a grain of salt, because they all say, "Oh, the plan was to keep AJ Brown. The plan was to keep AJ Brown." I mean, Mike Vrabel was on Rich Eisen's show saying we're keeping AJ Brown as long as I'm the head coach, and now he's gone. So, just take what they say for a grain of salt. That's all I can say.
Oh God, I hope Mike Vrabel's not going.
Nah.
It's a 0.5% chance that's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we thought AJ was hanging. I'm just saying.
Looks like
my
the
bird had to be
Chiefs
fired.
traded up.
The who? The Chiefs. Oh, that's a receiver.
Yeah, the Chiefs
Yeah.
traded up.
What receiver though? What receivers left? Scott Moore.
I mean,
I guess it's Scott Moore. Christian
it could be.
George.
Yeah, Christian Watson.
Yeah,
Christian Watson's still on the board, so that'd be a real good fill for them.
Dang, I'm mad I didn't take that bet. 7 receivers. Oh, got some money tonight. 2 receivers traded. It wasn't Debo Samuel.
They traded the wrong receiver. Damn it!
Yep.
You're right. Tough thing. All right.
But I agree here. I think Watson's going to go with this pick for Kansas City. So now we just have to wait for whatever Green Bay, Baltimore, Dallas, and Buffalo are going to do right now.
I really think they should trade up. I really do, because it might be another team that's quarterback needed, and they might jump right back in the first round.
Yep.
I said I wouldn't take that chance, man. Just go ahead, trade up, get the quarterback, and then be done with it.
No, I say go and kick it.
I think they're fine where they are. I mean,
Yeah,
the only
they're
potential
fine.
team that would make a move for a quarterback might be Green Bay, but they don't want to upset Aaron Rodgers. They've already spent $50 million trying to keep him.
Yeah,
So-
they still got the other first round pick. Jordan Love still on the roster.
Yeah.
I mean, somebody's got to keep his helmet warm.
Right. Green Bay need a receiver too, so all the receivers gonna be gone. ain't no receiver in the second round. That's it.
So we could see back-to-back wide receivers. So Sky Moore and Christian Watson could be off the board.
Yeah, you could chill now because at this point, the 2 quarterbacks they looked at, they went to go visit Malik Willis and Desmond Ridder. So if one of them get taken, the other one's still on the board at 22.
I'll just be real. I'm kind of interested to see how Titans and Truth is handling this right now. Because last year he lost it
Live
over Monty Rice. He lost it over Monty Rice.
Yeah.
I was on there with him.
So shout out to him. I hope he's okay. Please don't get too upset.
I know
He just went
Upload's
live.
going live right now.
Titans and Truth too. Literally, I just got the notification.
Yeah, everybody had to jump on this one. But we've still got 26, so we're gonna have 2 first-round picks. And right now, it's going to be just a good situation that we're building for the future. Hate to lose AJ. Got to find some positives here. Don't like the situation, but got to find some positives.
Chiefs getting the corner. They getting McDuffie.
That's a good pick.
Yep, I agree.
And Ryan, if you've got any energy right now, if you can go ahead and give us some in-depth perception on McDuffie, if you can.
Yeah, I mean with McDuffie, I mean he was by far the best corner in the Pac-12. Like it wasn't even close. I think he's a guy that the Chiefs needed defensive help. I didn't think they needed to go wide receiver. If Pat Mahomes is really that guy, like you say he is, getting paid $500 million, so obviously he's the guy. Then you can plug guys in receiver, and you can make it work with Mahomes. So the problem with the Chiefs over the last several years has been defense. They lost the Super Bowl a couple of years ago because their defense couldn't hold Tom Brady. Their defense couldn't hold Burrow in that AFC Championship game, so they need to address the defense. Kind of happy for him, at the same time not happy for him because Titans got to deal with that. But yeah, I think it's a solid pick for the Chiefs.
Tyler, I'll let you jump in on that same question.
Yeah, again, Ryan really said it best. It's you can have an offense that can put up points like crazy, but if we saw going back to that Tampa Bay and Kansas City Super Bowl, the Bucs defense slowed down Kansas City's offense, and if you don't have a defense that can do the same thing and keep teams out of the end zone or out of field goal range, keep them from getting in scoring position, then it's not going to pan out well for you. So I think it makes sense for the Chiefs to go defense there, and they're probably still looking if they want to add receiver. They still have another first round pick, so I believe.
And P Shark, same question. Final thoughts on this one? If you can muster the strength.
I think you're muted.
Oh, my bad. What's the question in my head? Still in the clouds about AJ, man.
Just if you think McDuffie's a good fit for the Chiefs.
Yeah, they need defense. They need all defense. So all they picks should be defense. Honestly, they can cope without Tyreek Hill. They need defense. So any defensive player they select is a win in their book.
And the Chiefs filling out their defense, adding pieces, adding youth. Hopefully it'll pay off if they can get back to the playoffs. And now we're on the board with the Packers, and a lot of interesting spots here. Still a lot of offensive linemen here if they wanted to go that way. Still a couple of receivers on the board. So, P-Shark, what would be the best option for the Green Bay Packers?
Wide receiver, Christian Watson. They traded, like the Titans, they traded Devontae Adams. They need replacement because I don't know who they got on their roster. Marquez Valdez-Scantling gone. I have no idea who they have at wide receiver. I don't. Man, in fact, AJ Brown. Not AJ Brown. What's man's name? Aaron Rodgers robbed them folks really because he.
They did.
He took all the money and he told nobody. I don't. Who is that receiver?
That's a good question. He got all the money.
Tight end, boy. Yeah, they got to take straight receivers.
They're going to have to start putting fans out on the field.
I need to go and get back on the field and get back in shape. So that's money to be made out here.
I don't think the Packers going to get a wide receiver. The last time they drafted a wide receiver was back in 2002 with Javon Walker. I don't think they're going to break that curse or whatever they got going on there. But I think they might go defense because they lost Zadarius Smith
Yep.
So I think they might go defense.
That's exactly what they did. That's exactly what they did. Quay Walker.
Oh,
Wow.
Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
They definitely need more help in their secondary and their linebacking core, to be honest. So,
Yeah.
You know what else I would love at this point for the Titans? We got it's the 3rd round pick. My guy Calvin Austin from Memphis.
that'd be a good
Happy one
pickup
of
there.
thirds.
Yeah.
You also have,
That would help you.
I think you got Khalil from Boise State. So that'd be a good pickup.
I'm just nervous about who the Titans will go pick on this.
Yeah, that's my biggest thing right now. Is it's hard for me to even pay attention what's going on with the rest of the board and other teams right now because I'm like, what are they going to do at 26?
I understand. I'm just trying to hold the board down
Yeah.
and let you guys vent as much as you need to. So I'm just too busy to be angry.
Yeah.
Let me just tell you this. I need the Memphis Grizzlies to go ahead and take care of Minnesota tomorrow because I just can't. Some good got to have.
What you said?
I would not be playing with this weekend if they
We're just-
mess around and lose that series.
We're just trying to get some good vibes before the end of the night. Hey, there's something good's got to come from this.
They'll come down to this 26 pick. If they take a lineman with this 26 pick,
Oh,
Titans
Twitter's
Twitter.
going to melt down.
Oh wait.
They'll burn it to the ground. They'll burn it to the ground.
Yeah, I mean,
They're going to see the state of Tennessee from space. From all the fires that are going to get ignited. So just calm down, y'all. And once again, Green Bay does not draft a wide receiver. I meant to put in that. I meant to poke that bear, but that just seemed too easy.
Buffalo moved up to 20. Buffalo had to move up.
Yeah, they just moved up.
mhm.
I would have to think maybe offensive line here.
I think so.
Tyler Linderbaum's still on the board.
Yeah. That's what I was trying to look at is who all was still on the board there.
But I would expect Linderbaum to go in one of these 3 picks. He could go to Dallas. He could go to the Ravens, but I expect him to be gone before he gets to us.
Yeah.
So on the big board we have right now George Carroll Aftis. Sorry if I butchered that. Linderbaum, Elam from Florida State, Ritter, N'Kobe Dean, Logan Hall, Booth, Wyatt, and Bernard from Central Michigan. But another player that's falling in the draft right now that was potentially a top 10 pick is Jermaine Johnson.
Yeah.
And I love this kid's game. And right before we signed Harold Landry to that long extension, I was really pushing for him if that we didn't get that done. So I wouldn't be mad if they went here with that.
The Bills went with corner. They went with Elam.
Bills stacked, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good pick for him.
He really is. Pair him up with Tre'Davious White.
Yeah. That really locks them down. So their secondary is going to be a lot better.
Yeah.
I mean, if he stays healthy,
I really don't know who the Titans are going to get.
Yeah.
I really don't know.
I just know if
We do-
Willis thing that coming across that board, y'all ain't gonna be able to convince me of anything.
We know he's on the board. We know Ritter's on the board. And I don't see Dallas. I don't see the Ravens making a move unless somebody jumps them.
Man, they take Ritter over Malik Willis. Y'all ain't gonna be able to see him.
I'll put it to this way: Ritter's going to have to win at least 2 Super Bowls to get me on board with him.
Man,
Yeah.
two.
Yeah.
He's going to be the next. He's got to be the second coming of Patrick Mahomes. That's the only way I'm going to be convinced.
Yeah, I'm still fine with 1 Super Bowl. I just need 1.
Hell, I'd take half of one. Give me the hat.
Yeah, give me a half one. Yeah.
I need a full one.
Hell, I'm going
we
back.
had half of one. We lost
Hell,
by 1 yard. That was half.
That team doesn't.
Fair,
The thing is, that team doesn't even exist anymore. So St. Louis doesn't deserve that trophy. I'm putting in a request for that they don't exist. I want that back. How you going to award trophies to teams that don't exist anymore? And that goes for all the other Super Bowls that Oakland won in Los Angeles. I'll throw that one in too.
Had to move to 2 different cities since then.
Yeah.
And they still didn't get a stadium.
Tough scene. Tough scene. I'm almost scared to see what default pick at 26.
I mean,
I get on Titans fans on Twitter. I go ahead and let them have it today.
I would have to think it'd be Malik if he's still on the board.
Oh, the Twitter timeline is in shambles, man. I've been kind of just scrolling through, man.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
I know it's like seeing the fire afterwards.
yeah.
I got a good buddy that's a Colts fan too, and his first tweet was like, "Yeah, AJ, get out of my division." I'm like, Lee, I got to hear this man. Treylon Burks, man, you got to be the second coming of
Randy Moss or Julio Jones. He's built like Julio Jones.
I was going to say T.O., but heck,
That's
AJ
good.
kind of like T.O. But
That will work too.
Yeah.
I don't know. After Julio, I know I know you're talking about the classic Julio Jones, but
Yeah, I want vintage Julio, that came out in the early 2010s. Give me that Julio. But just, involve him more.
yeah.
But speaking of Julio, I just keep laughing at Colts fans that want to try and bring him in because they think that that's going to fix their wide receiver problems.
No, they need to. Yeah, they need to fix their quarterback problem because every year they keep throwing out a different quarterback. I mean, you can't really. It's hard to be successful like that.
It is. I mean, you can't keep going after guys that are kind of past their prime. And let's be honest, Matty Ice isn't the Matty Ice of old.
Right.
He's not mobile. He stands in a pocket. And let's be honest, this Tennessee defense is going to tear him up.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
They are really taking their sweet time with this.
I think it's because we all anxious. We just like, okay, come on, Cowboys, go ahead, pick who you got to pick.
Yeah.
Baltimore, do what y'all got to do. We already know y'all ain't getting no QB, so y'all just go ahead and make y'all pick already.
Exactly.
I could see Dallas get a tight end.
It wouldn't shock me. I mean, they really do need to find somebody that could fill that void that they need, but they don't have Amari Cooper anymore, so I would figure Sky Moore might be available, or Christian Watson.
Yeah.
Once again, we're throwing those names out, so we'll just keep riding those and see if somebody picks them.
Maybe Jermaine Johnson. They got rid of Randy Gregory, I think, didn't they?
Yeah.
That'd be a good pickup.
Yeah.
I thought if N'Kobe Dean fits that system, Leighton Vander Esch always stays hurt. They can use a replacement for him. On safety, I know they've been needing safety for the last 10 years too.
They do need safety help.
Mm-hmm.
Just trying to play.
They go live on Instagram.
I'm trying to play catch up, but everybody's like flooded my feed, so it's like hard to get any kind of news right now. I get it, y'all are upset, but seriously, you're kind of like keeping me from doing what I got to do. So just relax a little. Go drink a beer. Or go run or something. We got at least 15 minutes before they pick.
Yeah.
Right.
Of course, now everybody's starting to like wise up a little, and you hear Malik Willis's name come up in the feeds. So this is interesting to say the least. So on a lighter note, I'm very happy that the stadium progress seems to be moving forward.
Yeah. Is it better than their original design they showed? Because
the shoebox.
I couldn't even find the stadium. I didn't even know which one was the stadium.
I was like you. When that original one, I was like, I'm looking. I was like, where is it at? Like which one?
It's like, that's a very boxy stadium. It's kind of like those people that bought like the Nissan Cubes. You just see it driving down the street and you're like, damn, it looks like a shoebox.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's your money. But very happy that that's moving forward, that they got the approval. So that just moves it to the next step. And, you know, I guess I'll just ask the question while we're waiting, especially on the draft. And I'll go ahead and start with you, P. Shark. What's one thing you'd like to see added to the new stadium?
I think they always say it would be a dome. So much for grass. They're definitely gonna have turf. I'm not sure. I really just wanted it to be enclosed. I really wanted it to be like I guess like the dome, the retractable roof, the one that opens and closes, or similar to the Rams. They have like a canopy, but a dome is fine. I mean, not really much else I could think of. I just really wanted an enclosed arena, so you know it'd be cold over there by the river outside in the cold weather games.
Ryan, anything in particular you'd like to see added to the new stadium?
Yeah, I mean, I wanted a dome as well because it's Nashville, it's hot. You know, you don't want to be, be a 3-hour game, you hot. So, I would say a dome. And to Sharp's point, yeah, it do get kind of cold, by that river, man. Doing the games in late November, late November and December. So I probably say definitely a roof. It's definitely a must. And I think the grass. I think that have a better grass or grass turf or whatever is another thing because for some reason because Nissan Stadium they also host a bowl game and it seems like every time the bowl game over with the grass don't the Titans play like 2 days later or whatever and the grass don't look all good and that affects injuries and stuff like that. So I'd say those couple of things I would like to be added to the stadium.
Definitely would like to see that added. And just to make a point of interest, if anyone's interested, Tyler Smith is off the board. He will be going to the Dallas Cowboys. So sorry, Titans fans. I know you had your heart set on him, but Apparently, the Cowboys wanted him more. So I hate to break your hearts again.
Yeah, that did say for Twitter, burn down because they took him. It would have been real flames.
It would have. But we can at least. And we are not far away from the Titans picking. We are waiting for the Ravens to add whoever they want to add at this point, and I'm pretty sure we can all agree quarterback is probably not going to be one of their needs.
I don't know. Maybe. I mean, they got to pay Lamar. You know, they might not want to pay Lamar. I'm just trying to bring some laughs in.
That would make me so happy if Lamar Jackson got traded.
Oh man.
Oh, I would laugh myself into coughing fits. Oh man. Well, we'll go ahead and break this down since we're waiting on our pick. So we'll go ahead and start with you, Tyler. Tennessee will be on the board next, and it's obvious that there's a lot of positions available. It's very clear that quarterback is very much in play, but there's also other positions at play. So quarterback aside, what do you think the Titans might reach for here at 26?
Could we see them double down on receiver early here? I mean, Dylan AJ grabbing Burks. You still have this pick at the end of the first. Maybe double down on the receiver and give Tannehill some more help, or, of course, like we've talked about, offensive line. If it's not a quarterback, I say go ahead, double down on receiver.
Ryan, what would be your take?
Honestly, I think they might go three different directions. Obviously, we talked about quarterback, but they could go, to Tyler's point, they could double down on wide receiver. Guard is not out of the question. Maybe a guard or a tackle. So I know that's going to basically add more fuel to the fire if they go that route. But I mean, Tannehill was the second most sacked quarterback in the National Football League last year, and you need offensive linemen. You need good offensive linemen to be able to have a stable offense. So it could go either one of those directions.
And it's really going to be interesting, especially knowing two quarterbacks on the board. Malik Willis is still there. He is free falling. What he seemed like could have potentially been a top 10 pick. And it's crazy, especially the way that some of these guys fall, end up being major key players in these offenses when they get the opportunity to lead. So could we see a potential Malik Willis pick? Could the Titans take a chance on Desmond Ridder? So with those two choices in mind, and Ryan, I'll let you have the first pick, out of the two quarterbacks, which do you think would be the best fit?
I would say Malik Willis. I think Malik Willis just brings an athletic part of the offense. I just think that, he kind of brings something a little bit different. I think he's a raw talent, and whoever, if they do go quarterback, whoever the quarterback is not going to be the starter unless Tannehill just free falls or he gets hurt, which we're not hoping that doesn't happen. So to me, I just say Malik Willis will be the guy for me. I just like his skill set better more than Riller. Riller's just basically a younger Tannehill. I don't know if we can really handle that.
Tyler, what's your take?
Take Willis. I mean, just like Ryan said, Ridder. I've never been sold on him. I've heard the comparisons to Mariota. I've heard roll the dice on Malik Willis. I mean, dude has a cannon for an arm. So that's my pick.
P Shark, quarterback debate of the two, who would be the best fit for the Titans offense?
Y'all already know who I want. The best quarterback in the draft, Malik Willis. He's the perfect draft and sit for a year quarterback. I think he has the most potential. He has the biggest arm. He can run. We finally have like Tannehill's mobile. I wish he would run more, but you actually have like legit Lamar Jackson-ish quarterback, but they control better. If he sit for a year, you might get something out of him.
And we've got a pick in for the Ravens, and they are going Tyler Linderbaum. He is off the board. They solidify their offensive line, and a very good pick for them. I think that helps them, especially protect their quarterback. Iowa's a factory at putting out offensive linemen, so really a great pick right there for them. And now the moment we've all been waiting for. After just this craziness we've endured, it is time to finally just get locked in and make sure to see whatever happens tonight is going to change the course of the Titans' future foreseeable. Here we are at pick 26, Tennessee. It's all come down to this. So, P Shark, will drafting a quarterback make up for tonight?
Crazy as it sounds, yes. Because I at least have something to look forward to in the future. Going into the season, with Tannehill started, I didn't think a Super Bowl was even possible anyway. It would just get to the playoffs and hope for the best, right? Hope that defense can carry him. Hopefully that he didn't make the crucial turnover. But getting a quarterback for the future will at least help me to know like we got something to look forward to.
Ryan, same question.
Yeah, I agree with Shark. Getting a quarterback would kind of soften the blow. It's still a big blow trading A.J. Brown, who we forgot to mention, by the way, that we play the Eagles this upcoming season. So, yeah, but I think it'll soften the blow. It won't soften it won't make us feel any better. But I think it would be like, okay, I understand what we're trying to do kind of thing.
And every big board is different. You have some where Ritter's higher. You have some where Malik Willis is higher. So, Tyler, I mean, along the lines, everybody's going to have their opinion. But mechanic-wise...
Pick is traded.
Yeah, pick got traded to the Jets.
Oh, wow.
What did Tennessee get? And I hope it was a bunch.
I have no idea. I haven't saw the...
And we're trying to get info. If anybody knows anything, let me know.
I'm looking. I don't see nothing yet.
It's going to be in the second round, so that's a given. All right, the Titans have pick 35 and something more from what Paul Kaharski is saying right now. They could have traded for a player as well. So, I mean, that's not out of the possibilities. If the Jets wanted to move up bad enough, I mean, could we potentially get Corey Davis back?
Looks like, according to Cameron Wolf, the Jets trade 35, 69, and 163 to Tennessee for the 26th and 101.
And I don't hate it.
No.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
That's good capital. Tennessee ended up getting a pick in the second round like they needed, and they ended up with another pack later on. So that's a very strong pickup for them.
So now they got 3/3. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I took it.
So depth's great. I think this was a great option as well. Yep. Tennessee has added a lot of pieces, and this potentially gets them still in play for a quarterback if they wanted to.
Yep. Probably won't be big league with us now, but I'll take that package.
But at this point, what do you think the Jets are trying to? What do you think they were trading up for? I would have to say Johnson.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. I'm trying to. Yeah, it looks like Ian Rappaport says Jets trade up to 26, and finally Jermaine Johnson goes.
And that's a solid trade. I think they end up with some pieces there. We potentially know there's going to be some really good linemen, especially available at 69, and potentially at either the 100 picks, 101 and 163, if they want to go that way. But pick 35 will be very intriguing, especially tomorrow. So
Yeah.
at this moment, the board's still kind of shaping up. We have some defensive players that are still probably going to be hanging around. We could potentially have some quarterbacks still available. At this moment, I don't see a lot of people taking chances on a quarterback except for maybe the Bucks. If the Vikings wanted to take that chance, they could. But at the same time, there's other quarterbacks that have rated higher in big boards. So it's all potentially just whoever they feel is the better fit. So
Do y'all think that the Titans are done for the night?
I think they are.
Yeah.
I think they came in, they got what they needed. Unfortunately, they had to get punched in the stomach really hard, but they ended up walking away with a wide receiver to replace the one they gave away, which has the same skill set, maybe even better from some analysts. And they walk away with a second-round pick and another third-round pick and 161 or 169, I think. I can't call. So, I mean, A.J. Brown trade aside, you know, they added what they needed to add. They got depth. They've got more picks. And I think that's one thing we forgot about going in this draft. That was another potential they could go away with. Granted, we're still all in shell shock, and I don't think that's going to go away for a while. So. I'll just put it this way. I know some of you out there have A.J. Brown jerseys. That's okay. Think of it this way. At least you don't have a tattoo.
It costs us iron.
Oh, but one you can't take off. So
That's true, but you still can't be selling jerseys either. So what kind of what else?
Yeah, but you getting $100 tattoo of AJ Brown, that
You could at least hide the tattoo though.
yeah, it depends on the spot.
I know what y'all mean. You still got it. I mean, tattoo's still on your body, so that's going to grave with you.
Exactly.
I'm just saying $100 for an AJ Brown tattoo. What were you getting tattooed? Just his number or? Because,
Well, if you get his number, you can always change the name with a number.
yeah.
Yeah. But
I guess the bigger question is Burks going to be 16 or is he going to fill in that 11?
I hope we don't try to get number 11. That's going
No.
that's just going to make Titans fans even more angry.
Yeah.
Just get 12 or 10, 14.
Oh, you stay away from 10. Stay away from 10.
Stay away from 10. Yeah, stay away from
I
10.
want 11 so I can make good use of my jersey. I can just put a tape of Burks on the I mean, give him 11, please. That way I can use the jersey.
Easy fix.
Kind of want to talk about like the AJ Brown situation. If you're gonna blame any team, I would just say don't really blame the Titans. Really blame the Jaguars because the Jaguars basically reset the wide receiver market by overpaying Christian Kirk. Christian Kirk ain't worth his contract. All right. And that kind of, that's why Debo was upset, wanted his money, the way he wanted his money, and A.J. Brown the same way. So if you're going to just blame anybody besides the same, blame the Jaguars for, for kind of messing up the wide receiver market.
I'll take it a step further, and I'll blame Tyreek Hill. Mm-hmm. After he wanted that trade, that really just grabbed the cage and rattled it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Christian Kirk's deal, like my guy Mike Patton always say, his guarantees, make his deal not look as big, but he still is like he was 4th-string receiver that got paid, so I see that point. But Tyreek Hill, he literally demanded a trade because they couldn't come to a deal and truly reset the market.
So a lot of blame.
It wasn't to his trade that all of a sudden AJ Debo and Terry McLaurin came out.
Jaguars traded they pick.
They're making me work too hard. Damn it, somebody pick. I gotta keep waiting for somebody. This is not right.
I'll say this though. I think the Jets really nailed the first round. Like they really addressed pretty much every single need that they, especially in their top 3. Getting Sauce, getting Garrett Wilson, now Jermaine Johnson. So they looking pretty good. They really nailed that first round.
Now, I will say, if Trey McBride is still available in the 60s, he could be an option for Tennessee.
Yeah, he was on my mock draft, so. Everybody's now. I'm looking at Twitter timeline, right? So everybody's like retweeting the Mike Vrabel interview with Rich Eisen about not giving away AJ Brown. Everybody's like retweeting that now.
Yeah, that's why I hate when you give out receipts. People always pull them back up.
Yep.
I do see one funny breaking news story, but I know it's fake. Somebody said that the Titans traded for Deebo Samuel.
Yeah.
So I'll just funny. You're a funny fella.
Just joking around on that more, you have to wonder how all of Titans Twitter would feel if for some reason the Titans were able to trade for Deebo and then paid him a big contract. When
honestly, I think I would if that happened, which that's highly unlikely. But if that would to happen, man, that would actually make me 100 times feel better. Because Debo, he brings so much to the table, similar to AJ. So it's
right.
Yeah, that'll make me feel a whole lot better about the whole situation. But I don't know, man. I don't know what J-Rod got going on. I don't know what his plan is, man. I'm just gonna do like I normally do when J-Rod does crazy stuff. Just see it through and not jump to too much of a conclusion. So.
And that's all you can do. We basically just the biggest hit's been taken. It hurts, but at least we know there's extra picks that came out of this, and we'll just have to wait and see where we go with them.
Yeah.
Good luck to Derrick Henry next season.
What if they trade Derrick Henry?
At this point, I mean, you might as well go ahead and rebuild this thing. If they did that, it was just like, okay, we know exactly what y'all doing now. But a lot of them still be hurt because Tannehill's still on the roster. But we can't trade him. Their contract isn't tradable this year, so it is what it is on their part. Well, we at least got a great defense, so there's that.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, we get Weaver back. We get Caleb Farley back. So I'm really excited to see what they can do at full speed and full health.
So, do we pay Big Jeff next year, or is he gone next year?
He's getting paid.
Oh yeah, we burning this thing to the ground for real.
That's why I threw that out there because none of us thought AJ was going to be gone. We thought, okay, he's going to get paid. And
That's true.
They did exercise his 5th-year option. So usually when that happens, it's always a good case. They're getting ready to put a big deal in front of him. And with AJ basically off the books now, that's more possible.
Yeah.
And I love AJ, but it's easier to replace a wide receiver than it is to replace Big Jeff. Defensive
and he's going to make bank.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If he has another big year, and I expect he will, he is going to make bank.
Now, scrolling Twitter again, something that I just saw that just kind of reopened the herd a little bit there is it's a screenshot from the game against the Ravens where we were down 21-16 and AJ breaking through all those tackles to get in the end zone.
That was the video. I had the year board about the AJ Brown trade speculation. That was the video I showed to start that short video.
And the Jaguars pick up Devin Lloyd. That's a pretty good pickup for him.
That person, KC.
The Miles Jack replacement.
I mean, it just might be me, but this draft is just dragging after all that gut-punching news today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like we should be like at least 31st. It's barely just past 27 now, so.
I know. You figured at least some of these guys would know who they want at this point. I just kind of feel like they're dragging it out.
This is what happens when you have a Super Bowl bust season and you fall short.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just the aftermath.
It's unfortunate. You got to win these things, and even when you do win them, unfortunately, those situations get a little harder because guys want more money.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to take care of them. But I do feel more confident knowing that we go into day 2 and we'll have 3 picks to play with. So,
yeah.
We look a lot better than we did yesterday. From a draft standpoint, anyway. What they do with them, that's going to be a whole different story. You've got people like asking if Julio Jones wants to come back now.
Stop it.
I saw where someone tweeted out that 3-headed monster of AJ, Julio, and Henry last year now looks, now it's very severely overhyped.
Yeah, that felt like 5 years ago now.
It does. It lived a little bit like a Indian summer, and it just whisked away. It was pretty at times, but you wish you would have had more of it.
Yeah.
And I just thought about this. J-Rob kept with his team this offseason. He's gotten rid of the people who haven't stayed healthy. That includes AJ Brown.
Mm-hmm.
That is true.
Yep. Jayon is gone. Evans had some Darrington Evans. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
The lineman Sappho.
Stafford. Yep. Stafford.
Because some of the fans who were arguing about trade AJ talking about they didn't want to pay him the money, it was injuries.
Yeah.
And that's one thing Eagles fans are going to have to really figure out early because, if AJ gets overworked, you're going to miss him for maybe 2 or 3 games at a time.
Yeah. They just got Devontae Smith, though, so they should be straight.
Yeah.
And Hurst just got to give him the ball.
And that's kind of the thing, too, though, because Philly's kind of got the same kind of philosophy like Tennessee where they're run first team, too. So I don't know if AJ going to be able – well, he got his money, so I don't know if he cares or whatever, but I don't know if he's still going to put up the same kind of stats in Philly as opposed to Tennessee. At least, he was the guy in Tennessee. In Philly, you pretty much kind of sharing that responsibility with Smith, so I don't know.
And another thing I'm thinking about right now is how is he going to play in colder weather? Because once November rolls around in Philadelphia, it's miserable. And it's only going to get worse. And, guys that change the atmospheres that they play around in, it could take a drastic hit.
Yeah, and it's easier to get hurt in the cold. So.
Especially in Philadelphia. The crazy thing is, it's like I had Burks on my board if Zion was gone. But like everybody else, I didn't want it to happen like this. But it did.
Because now we need another receiver. Anyway.
And there's still some pretty quality guys that we could potentially bring in day 2, maybe even day 3. So I wouldn't mind bringing in a tight end. I wouldn't mind adding defensive depth if there's one of the guys that I've been drafting, if they hang around that long. But I wouldn't mind really just seeing them go after like a lineman maybe at pick 90. I think that would probably be the best way to go. So you'd think that the kid from Chattanooga would definitely be in play there.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm thinking now, because we got 3 third-round picks now. So I'm thinking quarterback at 35, and third round get another receiver and 2 linemen, or a receiver tight end lineman, some type of combination.
I still think Willis I still think Willis is still available. I don't think he's going to make the first round, just judging by the teams that's left. So yeah. Willis could still be the option.
That's why I said QB at 35.
Yeah.
Because him or Riddler would be there.
My question is, who are the first 2 picks?
The Lions traded theirs. They were 32. They moved up to who they traded with earlier. Whoever they traded
Minnesota.
Nah, it's last pick of first round.
Oh, you talking about second round? It's Tampa Bay and Minnesota.
Yeah. I could see Tampa doing it, but it's Tom Brady, but I don't know.
They got a quarterback last year, though.
What did they get last year?
The kid from Florida, Trask.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
My wife just sent me a video I'll send to y'all on Twitter. It looks like when the news broke about the AJ trade, it shows in the war room and Vrabel like getting up and kind of shaking his head and walking around for a minute.
So he definitely agree with it.
No, that's not good.
No, that's not.
That's going to make very interesting news for tomorrow.
Mm.
So at this point, the wide receiver room looks like this. You've got Burks, Woods, Westbrook, Keenum, Holster, Fitzpatrick, McMath, Malone, and Kinsey.
Everybody's favorite, Mason Kinsey.
If he wants to step up, this is his opportunity.
I'm asking my boy Calvin Austin in here and call it a day.
I wouldn't hold my breath on this, but I would just find it absolutely hilarious if Fitzpatrick actually just busted out of nowhere.
That would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we all had to be wrong on one pick, I would not mind being wrong on this one. Damn, Green Bay, make a pick.
Yeah, this last half of this first round has just been like
They are dragging their feet.
Dragon.
They don't care.
I guess in the beginning teams knew what they want and get to the last half, folks got taken like golly.
All right, we got a pick. It's Devontae Wyatt.
Whoa.
they just
And the
refuse
Patriots are taking Cole Strange at 29,
it. Dog.
according to Albert Breer.
We thought we were finna get him in the third round. Sheesh.
That was a reach.
Yeah.
I like him, but that was a reach.
Yeah,
And the Packers go 20 straight drafts now, without taking a wide receiver in the first round.
I mean, Aaron Rodgers got $50 million, so I guess he can feel good about that.
Yep.
Maybe throw it to the money. Maybe the money can catch it. And I guess that puts the Chiefs on the clock.
Yeah, I've seen them picking the kid from Purdue, George. I can't pronounce his last name.
Yeah, that's probably where they're going to go.
So that's letting me know some of these like later teams, like Kansas City and Green Bay, need another receiver, especially Green Bay. They just not valuing receivers. They think they got elite quarterbacks. They saying their elite quarterback's going to take care of it.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they're saying.
So officially tomorrow, when the draft starts again, Tampa Bay will be on the clock, then Minnesota, then Tennessee. So
yeah, we got a quarterback there. Okay.
I hope it'll be a quarterback.
I see the bid. Yeah, it'll be somebody there. Yeah, I hope it's the one we thinking about, Malik Willis. Ritter will be there. Hopefully Malik Willis make it.
I'm just hoping they draft a quarterback at this point. I mean, yeah, I want Willis too, but if they neglect the quarterback position again and wait till the third round, man, that's gonna be tough.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it looks like, according to Paul Kraharski, so we got the 35th, 69th, 90th, 131st, 143, 163, 169, 204, and 219. So only 2 third-round picks.
So what was the other one from the A.J. Brown trade? Was it next year's third?
Well,
or?
in the A.J. Brown, we got 101, but in the trade with the Jets, they gave up 101.
To move up to 69. Okay.
which that works.
That's good. Yeah.
I mean, they get higher value, and the 3 picks that they will have are basically going to be like, later first round, later second round picks. So it's not bad. And the way the board's playing right now, you got a lot of guys that are potentially going to be sitting around that were like sitting in the top 20 or the top 25. So really, it's going to be interesting tomorrow. I mean, Tennessee could do a lot of interesting things if they wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they could potentially trade down again.
You know what, Power Hour, I think I missed your show when you said we should draft a quarterback next year. I've been asking this question. After Bryce Young and CJ Stroud, what quarterbacks are next year? Because after them two, I can't think of nobody that's good that I would want to go after.
I'm glad you asked. I'll pull my list up because I actually did save that.
I think the kid from Arkansas, what's his name, KJ Williams?
Jefferson.
Jefferson, yeah, KJ Jefferson.
Yeah.
He's good. I like him. Need to see another year of it, though. That's why.
Yeah.
I know I don't want no Spencer Rattler. Tell you that now.
No. He's a mess.
That quarterback from that just transferred to USC, will he be eligible? What's his name? He played at Oklahoma with Lincoln Riley.
That's Spencer Rattler, ain't it?
The other guy.
The other one. Get back up, Williams.
Yeah.
I think it's CJ Williams. Okay. Yeah. Nah. Y'all got me on KJ Jefferson though.
You do have Spencer Rattler. Anthony Richardson from the Gators is a really interesting player. 6'4", he's 236 pounds. A lot of people think that he could potentially go in the first round. You got the other quarterback from Pitt, Kendor Slavis.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. We'll see how the season play out. Because the reason I was thinking even just this year is just like, if this is a weak class that me and quarterback could fall to us, and I'm thinking like next year, we're going to be in the same position. We might.
Oh,
we're not going.
It's a heavy.
We're not going to be able to get Bryce Young. So it's like, we still going to be 20-ish range. So it's like,
I mean, actually, they can. I mean, you could still be in the 20s and move up. But they're going to have to give up a lot of. They're going to have to give up a lot of capital to do it.
I'm telling you now, any of them teams who tanking, they not giving no Bryce Young. There's nothing they gonna do. They literally tanking to get him.
But at the same time, it's like which teams are going to be at the top, though. And if they're a team that has a quarterback but needs everything else, it kind of works to your advantage.
Yeah. I just think it's gonna be one of those teams that need one, like Detroit. Those teams that take one this year, Atlanta, those teams going for Bryce Young.
Which honestly, I like Stroud a lot better. He's better at completing his passes. So, I mean, that'd be my number one guy.
He'd be taking around them. I know No Flash Film told me he think CJ Stroud a little overrated. So I was like, I can't wait till I see his film breakdown coming up. I like both of them.
He just still gives me just Russell Wilson vibes. Not saying he's Russell Wilson, just gives me Russell Wilson vibes. Kansas City, have you picked yet?
Yeah, they took. I can't pronounce the dude's name.
George Karlaftis.
Okay, they took.
And then at 31, it looks like, according to Albert Breer, the Bengals are taking safety Dax Hill.
All right, so let's try and throw those up real quick. That's a good pickup for the Bengals, though. I think Hill's definitely underrated, but he definitely fits in what the Bengals do. So we got one more pick with the Vikings sitting there, so I would assume that they're probably going to go defense on this pick. I don't think they're going to do anything crazy till tomorrow anyway.
Right.
So we have left on the board I can't even get my draft board to load anymore. Everything's falling apart in front of me. There we go. They could go after Nakobe Dean. I think he'd be a good fit for him. Or if they wanted to add corner help, Andrew Booth from Clemson's still available.
Yeah.
But I guess while we're waiting on them, we'll just go ahead and break down what's left of whatever Tennessee did today. We'll just start with the bad, and A.J. Brown getting traded being the key piece here that basically was the gut punch of Titan Nation. So, guys, I mean, that being said, Tyler, what's going to be the focal point moving forward in this draft in the coming days?
Focal point going forward, I think it still has to stay the same, really, besides going ahead and grabbing a quarterback now. And then you build the offensive line and try and add some more receivers. I think that's still got to be the focal point going forward. Maybe add a couple of defensive guys for depth along the way. But I know before everything went down tonight, I was thinking take your third receiver, then build the line, protect Tannehill. And like I said, going forward, I think now, though, after everything, take a quarterback and then build the O-line so you can protect him going forward after this year.
And Ryan, I guess Treylon Burks was very much a pick from everybody, but at the cost to get him, it just seemed like we gave up a lot to... It was basically kind of a robbing Peter to pay Paul situation, I guess is the best way to put it. I guess the biggest question is, do the Titans feel that it was necessary in a situation where we had to pay our best receiver to cut him loose to try and make some significant gains, especially down the road? Do you think the means outweighs the necessity?
I mean, that's what that look like. That's what's the plan. They planned to keep that Burks was going to be the guy. Is going to be the guy, and of course it cost AJ losing AJ Brown, but hopefully Burks works out. The Titans have not had the best of luck drafting in the first round, regardless of the position. So. Hopefully Burks can kind of break that curse. But I mean, looking at a glass half full, though, he got a lot of picks for that second from that second draft. I mean, that second pick in the first round. And if you really think about it, J-Rod has done his best draft work in the later rounds. So hopefully, he can really work his magic, get some depth in both sides of the ball, and see what happens from there.
And P Shark, we'll let you get the final thought in on this one. What is J-Rob gonna have to do to show Titans fans that he's serious about contending for a Super Bowl?
Mm, there's nothing for the initial this year. There's nothing he can do because he's stuck with Ryan Tannehill. Um, Going forward, it would be. I wouldn't necessarily say he had to take a quarterback this year. We would like to. I know me and Ryan definitely like to Malik Willis. But if they can get KJ Jefferson next year or whatever, that would work out too. There's nothing he can do for this season, but just picking up depth, going ahead rebuilding the offensive line, grabbing another receiver, kind of just like revamping a couple of those positions. The AJ Brown trade, along with that second trade, has helped with that. So, but for this season, there's nothing he can do. Probably there are still some Tannehill fans out there. They are still saying so. Probably grabbing another weapon or so will probably boost them up, but I don't think there's nothing he can do for this season.
But if you're building long term for next year, what pieces do you think would be the best way to help improve this team, especially if you're handing the reins off to another potential quarterback?
Another receiver. Go ahead looking forward to 09. I think me and Titans Time talked last night. J. Rob likes to look ahead. Left tackle is not out. It's probably not out of the cards. Probably looking forward in the future of potentially moving forward for Taylor Warren. I saw a fan of the year, Stephanie, tweet she would like to see a center. Ben Jones signed a 2-year deal. He's getting up there in age. So just seeing moves like that, he tends to make those type of moves anyway. So I say expect those type of moves. Maybe even edge rusher. Who knows? Bud Dupree's contract might be expendable next year, the year after. So a safety, Amani Hooker. His contract come out the book soon. David Long, like a lot of these guys, you're gonna have to start paying. So I can just J. Rob always looks towards the future, so I could definitely see him making those type of moves, those different positional needs, where they're not immediate needs right now, but next year, 2 years from now, they could be like he did with Jeffrey Simmons when we still had Jared Casey.
And for a final thought, I'll ask you all the same question. Tyler, we'll start with you and work our way down. What player would you like to see the Titans draft in day 2?
Day 2. I'm going to go with... I'm trying to think past the 35th pick.
It's hard to, though.
Yeah, it is. I'm trying to think on down the line. Honestly, going to 69, I would be fine with either, if these guys fall to there, either Kennard, the tackle from Kentucky, or I know P. Shark will like this one, the guard from Memphis. Dylan, I'm trying to think of
Parham.
Yeah, one of those two guys there at 69. That's what I'd be hoping for.
For me personally, I think that obviously besides the quarterback, Malik Willis, I would think, maybe Trey McBride might be falling there as well. I know we kind of sort of addressed the tight end position with Austin Hooper, but we really don't know what that's going to bring. But Trey McBride, great talent, won the best tight end award, even though it was on a 1-win team. But I think it's a great talent, and I do think Kennard. I was thinking Kennard as well, being in that spot at 69 as well for day 2. So. Like I said, the Titans did a great job in that second trade, in that trade with the Jets, getting some pieces, and hopefully, J-Rock can work his magic in day 2. But we'll see what happens.
And for me, Malik Willis at 35. If they happen not to go quarterback, and just pass on quarterback this draft, either double up at receiver and get George Pickens, so Sky Moore, or get a Trey McBride at tight end. Cole Strange again taken kind of put it in our third round plans. If you don't double up the wide receiver in the second round, Calvin Austin is right there at 69. If not him, go ahead and get my guy Dylan Parham or another guard or tackle that they have out on their board. And the same thing for 90, guard, tackle / tight end, whichever they don't take in the first two picks. Take those in 90.
And all those are great options. And one pick I'd like to add in, if he ends up hanging around at 60, I would not mind if Tennessee took a shot at Leo Chenell from Wisconsin.
Oh, yeah.
Inside linebacker, he is a headhunter. I just get vibes of like a smaller Brian Urlacher. He's definitely a Mike Vrabel guy. I like his intensity. I love the fact that he gets after the ball carrier and he can force fumbles. So if he is a potential day 3 or a day 2 prospect, then I'm more than happy to use one of those draft picks on him. Of course, 35 is going to be very interesting with two teams that could potentially take quarterbacks ahead of Tennessee. So I think to finish out the show, out of the two quarterbacks we've already discussed, who y'all think potentially fits the best in these systems? Would Tennessee potentially have to trade up to take one of these two if the Vikings or the Bucs decide to go that route? And P. Shark, will start with you and work our way up.
I guess truth be told, Desmond Ridder, since he says he's like Tannehill, would fit the system off the bat. But Malik Willis is the more talented, and you just work, you build, you make the system for him, in my opinion. So you take Malik Willis and sit him for a year. And I forgot the second question.
Well, really, it was just the full question.
Oh, okay.
It's been a long night, so.
Oh, but they had to trade up. Oh no, they won. I mean, it's literally 2 picks, and those two teams ain't taking the quarterback. I guess they had to be on the lookout for another team to trade ahead. But if they weren't, like I saw Mike Miracle said, they ain't have enough conviction to take that quarterback at 26. They stand pat at 35.
Yeah, I would say I agree with Shark. Riddler, from a systematic standpoint, is the guy. But I think Malik Willis would be the more talented quarterback for this team. So I say Willis will be. I think Willis will make the most sense. And with again, to Shark's point, with quarterbacks, you generate a system to fit the quarterback and not the other way around. So I say, go with Willis, and be on the lookout for Minnesota. Minnesota could actually draft a QB, and the reason why I said that is because they paid Kirk Cousins all that money or whatever, but they don't have Mike Zimmer no more, and they got a new GM. Usually with new GMs and new coaches, they like to get their own quarterback. So Vikings can possibly shot the second round and draft one of these quarterbacks.
So I'm going to agree with them and say that Ritter, obviously, system, he would fit it better if he's getting comparisons to Tannehill. But I think Willis will be the better pick. I think he's the better talent. Go with him. I do not believe that they would have to trade up. They may have to watch for some other people trading up in front of them. But I feel like if the Vikings were going to go quarterback, it would have made more sense to do it here at 32, because then they could have had that 5th-year option on the quarterback versus waiting 2 picks later into the second round and not having that 5th-year option. I feel like that would have made more sense.
Good point.
Very good point.
I agree with that. Yeah.
And day 1 is officially in the books for the NFL draft, and we've seen a lot of trades, especially once we got past 10. I think to finish it out, guys, we'll start with Tyler and work our way down. What was the most, besides the A.J. Brown, because I know the answer to that, Which of
Careful
these
what you
other?
ask here, Power Hour.
That's why I got to choose your wording. That's why I got to choose wording. Besides the AJ Brown scenario that went down, what was the most shocking trade other than that? Tyler, we'll start with you and work our way down.
I'm going to say a Hollywood Brown to the Cardinals. I don't know that anyone expected that. I actually saw a tweet from Lamar Jackson where, it looked like he was wondering what the hell was going on. So, I think that would be the most shocking trade to me, besides obviously the AJ Brown one.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. I did not see Marquise Brown in any kind of trade rumors. It was always talking about AJ. It was talking about Debo. Even DK Metcalf was in the discussion as well. I did not see Marquise Brown being in the trade rumors and to the Cardinals for that. So I would say that was the shocking trade for me, besides the AJ Brown trade.
And go and make it 3 for 3. Marquise Brown was the name that wasn't heard. That was honestly, that was low key more shocking than AJ Brown, because you at least heard about AJ. His name has been in the news, although the Titans said they're planning to trade him, but I hadn't heard anything. Marquise Brown name never popped up. And then the Ravens didn't take another wide receiver either, so that definitely was a shock.
And I would agree. I think the Brown trade, you felt that Lamar Jackson had at least what you've considered that could have been a number one receiver. I just don't think he really got a full potential to break out and have the opportunity to. But I think with Arizona, that'll definitely change. And I think it also helps Kyler Murray feel a little more comfortable with his decision going long-term with the Cardinals. All right, everybody. I want to thank you all for joining us tonight on the 3 and 42-minute Power Hours. It was a spectacular Draftacular, and it brought a lot of shock, and it's one we probably won't forget for a long time. Not in a good way, though, but hopefully the payoff for what we traded for will make significant differences. So, guys, I appreciate you for being on this tonight. I know you could have done anything else, and you had so much other things going on, but I appreciate the time that you took for being here. Always love having you guys on the show, and just wanted y'all to get a shout out to the audience to let them know where to find you. Tyler, I'll let you start, and we'll finish up with P-Shark.
Yeah, and thanks for having us on. Man, it's always a pleasure coming on your show. Just breaking everything down with you, talking football. It's a blast. And everyone, you can check out my show on YouTube, Titans Time Podcast. Would love it if you go subscribe. Really appreciate it. Find me on Stitcher, Spotify, Apple Podcasts for the audio version of it. Twitter, go follow me there at Titans_time. Instagram, Titans Time Podcast. And I do have some merch out there. All you have to do is go to titans-time.myshopify.com/collections/all.
And of course, you can follow me personally on Twitter at RyanHarris662. You can also follow my podcast called The Jump Pass at The Jump Pass TN on Twitter. You can also please subscribe, or basically, put on the notification, whether you got Apple, Stitcher, Amazon, Google. I'm everywhere. So, please be on the lookout. Of course, there will be a brand new episode coming up based off of this draft, because I got plenty to talk about, got plenty to say. So stay tuned for that.
And once again, shout out to Power Hour. Thanks for having us on. Definitely helped me cope with the trade. Whole lot better have to be alive after we progressing. Probably would have had alive. So definitely helped me reel me in. But let's follow me on Twitter at the _P Shark, DAONE _P Shark. From there, I have a link tree in my bio, and from there you can follow everything I do. I have 3 podcasts and a whole podcast network. Let's Tighten Up, Let's Be Real podcast. All the links are in there. YouTube, on any podcast platform for audio, and starting 5 podcasts. Main podcast right now for the Memphis Grizzlies for SB Nation, Grizzly Bear Blues podcast network. Got a new episode coming out there this Tuesday, hopefully with the Grizzlies winning the first round series, playing against the Golden State Warriors in the second round. We'll see. And I'll probably have a new video dropping for Let's Tighten Up on YouTube, saying I'm bored for calling everybody else bored about saying AJ Brown wasn't getting traded. So now I got to pay for my sins.
I affectionately call them the 2 Blue Wrecking Crew. I love having these guys on. They have some of the best insight out on the web. Can't get enough of them. Go check them out. They are the best. They do the best. And they always give you the best. And I want to thank you, my audience, for joining us. And before we go, I definitely want to give a shout out to one of our friends that unfortunately has been going through some things. And we all wish him the best. And it's an unfortunate situation. We don't know a lot of what's going on. And we really hope for the best. And of course, I'm talking about our good friend Titan Rossi. We know whatever the situation is he's going through, that we want him to know that we love him very much, that we've all been affected by him. He's a very big part of our lives. He's been on our shows multiple times, as vice versa. And we love this guy, and we wish him the best. And whatever he's going through, whatever struggles, that we want him to know that he is definitely in our thoughts, our prayers, and our reflections. So Titan Rossi, if you're out there, and if you're watching just from afar, just know you've got a good bunch of friends out here that miss you and wish you well.
Shoot, man.
Mm-hmm.
So on that note, we will end the Power Hour Draftacular. I want to thank my guests again for joining us. We've had a fantastic time, but unfortunately this one has to come to end. But we know there's a lot to talk about going forward and tomorrow, and we'll eventually make more sense of it, maybe after a good night's sleep. So, for all my guests, I'm Michael Bishop of the Power Hour. Take care and tighten up.
Tighten up.
Tighten up.
Tighten up.